All right, let's see if we're live. Uh, all right. Just give me guys a second, just to make sure this is okay. Okay, I think we're good to go. Just gonna share the link on the Discord server. Versus. Okay, we're good to go. Just gonna wait for a little, for more people to join. Just gonna wait for a little bit. This is going to be a tough stream, tiering every single character from versus, from weakest to strongest or strongest to weakest. And this is actually the first time I'm doing this. It's not like I've already tested my knowledge and I try to tier them. I'm just, gonna do this with you guys. Yeah, we have every single character with every single state, right? For example, we have the medallion space Uki, and then not space Uki, plate space, and bronze. The base Joshi with his cape on, without his cape, release. So yeah. First of all, how are you guys doing? The laptop I see chat on actually crashed right now, so like we're on with a bad start. We're just gonna check chat from the phone. All right, so 4 people is already enough. Let's start with tiering these characters. And I don't know if we should start from weakest to strongest or strongest to weakest, but I think it's better to just start from weakest to strongest. All right, so again, disclaimer, I've never done a tiering list regarding verses. I've just reread it, wrote notes, didn't even finish reading the notes that I made. This is going on based on what I remember from verses. I think I have a really good power scaling knowledge concerning this verse. So yeah. Also, there are a lot of characters that would be like their placements should be based on nothing other than speculations and assumptions. A lot of characters are still featless. If we have a character that has done absolutely nothing, we're just gonna push him right here. We do not know, right? But if there are characters we know are stronger than others but still didn't do anything, we're gonna tier them. For example, the 10 demon lords, all we know for now is that they're actually stronger than Boxer, right? Like if you think about it. And so I am gonna place them on a demon lord tier, but we have absolutely no idea who's stronger than who. I don't know if Nuda is stronger than Jahivi, stronger than Jakuja, that kind of stuff, right? And it goes for a lot of characters, not just the demon lords. It goes for a lot of characters. For example, for now I'm gonna, be like I'll believe that the medallions are equal based on Baowan's statement. So I'm gonna just place them in one single tier. However, this is still a speculation and an assumption. In the future, maybe Galloway is gonna be, is gonna do more or better feats than someone like Uki or Baowan or whatever. So yeah, like a lot of characters would absolutely based on assumptions and speculations. Aspenlog, yo, welcome to the stream, bro. All right, without further ado, let's just get this going. All right, so we're gonna start with characters that we simply do not know, and it would be very weird to scale them based on absolutely nothing but hype. For example, Cursed Lands Human number one, the one who's with Berserk and Gigatilla. We don't know enough about this character to put a genuine placement for her or his power scaling wise. We just know they're pretty good, they're pretty crafty. One would say, yo, they should be scaling about boss. However, we do not know. Like maybe boss is actually him. Maybe boss is better than this person, this girl, this guy. So number one of Cursed Lands, we absolutely do not know a single thing about them. Mecha Ordinance number one, too. Obviously they would be above normal soldiers or Kyla, but where would I place them? For example, if I say the normal soldiers would be right here, humans that can fight, would I place this guy above human? Or would I place him in heroes level or even above? We don't know. We just know that this guy is above every single soldier. Hello guys, welcome to the stream, bro. Hugh Wong, good to see you. So yeah, hold on, give me just 1 second. All right, let's continue. Parasite Rinri too, like we don't know if you can actually control the parasite, because a lot of people do have that theory of like Rinri being able to actually control the parasite and not the other way around. It just has insane mentality and insane a strong personality that he wouldn't let a parasite control him. So if he can use some parasite's attack, he would be strong, but like for now, we do not know a single thing about him, and therefore we're just gonna put him here. Who do we have also after that? We're just gonna go pick up all the number one from each world because we do not know a single thing about them. She has at least a belt full of soul containers. Exactly, but here's the thing. The characters with soul containers, I do not know how to scale them, to be honest, because that's why I have this tier right here, prep time merchants. And speaking of tiers, I'm gonna explain them because I didn't do that. So obviously we have potential strongest of all, the character that we think is gonna be the strongest, or the two characters or three characters, whatever. We think they are the strongest. Top tiers are characters who are above a Demon Lord tier. And we have high tier Demon Lord, mid tier Demon Lord, low tier Demon Lord. And then we have above heroes, and then heroes level, and then above human, and then humans that can fight, and humans that cannot fight. This one right here, Prep Time Merchants, is actually reserved to soul container users. For example, Boss himself was able to injure base Galoa. This is an insane feat. You may put him above every single demon leader because no demon leader was able to do that. However, he needed prep time, needed the other characters to distract Galwa to perform that feat. And not just him, by the way. We also have, what's his name? Rinri, right? For Rinri to be able to actually defeat a Tyrant Bear, a lot of people would just put him above the Tyrant Bear, but he did use prep time to do that. Like he went to the prison, took a lot, like 50 souls, prepared himself well, and then went to kill the Tyrant Bear. So like it just feels disingenuous to put him and Boss above like maybe like base Galawa or Tyrant Bear. They needed prep time. And so like every single soul container character is just like very weird to scale them. The Tangola, welcome to stream, bro. Like very good to see you. Let's go. We finally starting. Let's go. So like these two characters is very weird to scale them, and I don't think you should be putting Rinley above Tyrant's Bear just because he destroyed it with a soul container. He required prep time. He's not gonna do that. We like imagine it this way. Imagine Rinley just like is face to face with the Tyrant's Bear, didn't have prior knowledge that this bear exists. Like he has to fight him right there and right here. He's not gonna be able to defeat him, even with having a soul container. It's like he needed 50 live souls to pull that feat off. Alright, so let's continue with characters we do not know. Number 1, Yggdrasion should be above Sabiwa, who was able to use seeds to create roots to support the building for it not to fall. However, we do not know where it's like. Let's say, for example, we put Sabiwa at humans that can fight. Maybe this character is just gonna be another human that can fight. Maybe not even above human. And so like we wouldn't know exactly where to put them for now. The games too, we have absolutely no idea what they do. Right? We do not know a single thing about the games, and I reckon it's gonna be revealed in the next chapter. It's not the next chapter, but the future chapters. Like I would reckon like maybe 2 to 3 chapters more, and we're gonna see the games. All right, let's continue. Just gonna continue with characters we do not know. We do not know how strong they are. That's what I mean. Alright, Zoo, base Zoo, and mentally nerfed Zoo. You can argue that because he's a hero, he should be right here. I think we shouldn't be putting him at we don't know. I think we should put him right here, heroes level. Alright, who are the characters that we do not know how strong they are? Number 1, Celestia should be above, what's his name? Should be above these two. And the one on the right is implied to have better sniping skills because the girl passed him the weapon when they were dealing with the Lawless. However, as I said, being above these characters is still not efficient enough to scale them. Like, we don't really know where they should be falling at. I think the only two characters from the strongest humans that we can scale are Gigatilla and Berserk. Gigatilla obviously being stated by Pakia to being stronger than Hallow, and so we can scale him above Hallow. And Berserk being the only hero that actually defeated the Demon Lord should guarantee him a placement in at least low tier Demon Lord. Alright, let me read. Aspen Log, I feel games is fine to place in highest potential tier, but like we still do not know if it's a fighting thing, right? This is a fighting tiering list. If the game is just something that, for example, I'm not gonna be scaling curses, right? Curses are not a fighting thing. Like characters that uses the soul containers, we can scale them, but like the curses themselves, we're not gonna do that. because they will all depend on certain situations to work. All right, let's continue. All right, now we're gonna go to humans that cannot fight. Masayoshi, obviously, he is a genius. He can, come up with really good on-spot strategies. I would even argue maybe he's on the level of Glasp in terms of intellect, in terms of being a genius. Because even Glasp is like sometimes taking his advices or taking his recommendations. Like in terms of fighting, we know he's a bum. We know he do not do a single thing. All right, let's continue with characters that cannot fight. Uh, what do we have also? Okay, all these characters can fight. Okay, games, like humans from the games. I don't think it's a fighting thing. I don't think they can fight. I think it's just a matter of survival. They know how to play games. They know how to, in general, they just know how to play games. I don't think they can fight in any sense. So we're gonna put them in humans that cannot fight. Who do we have also? Indignia humans, all they do is pray. Who do we have here? Lawless humans. Listen, this girl, I don't remember her name exactly, but this girl has proven that she can at least use a knife, right? But like I'm more so uh tearing every single lawless human, specifically this old man. This old man has shown nothing. Like he has done absolutely nothing. And this list can change in the future, by the way. Like I still didn't say that. Uh, I'm not saying this is gonna be a concrete list. I'm not gonna say this is an objective list. Obviously, we're running off speculations and assumptions. We only have 34 chapters, bro. And so like maybe these characters are gonna prove me wrong. They're gonna be able to do things. But for now, we're just gonna judge based on feats we've seen so far. And from what we've seen, these guys has done absolutely nothing, specifically these four, right? Who else cannot fight? I think the Gaia's wrath humans, they cannot fight. They can summon other animals and maybe they can employ them to fight other beings. Maybe they can even like suppress lawless humans with these creatures. But for now, these guys are like even in terms of like they're like they have children bodies. So I don't think they can scrap hand to hand. They just need to run away whenever there is a threat that can't fight. Lazy, one from God World. Who do we have also here? I think the parasites humans. Where are they? Yeah, parasites humans. They look like they're military, the way they dress up. But we've seen absolutely nothing from them other than explaining how the parasites work. They gave us the explanation of like there are only two things you can do against a parasite. You either eat pill one, which for a certain time, the parasite is not going to be able to inhabit that body, the body that the consumer, the body of the consumer. Or the second pill, where like if you are already inhabited by a parasite, when you eat that pill before getting your mind controlled, you're just gonna die. So that's the only thing they did. They've never fought, they never scrapped hands, and they never showed that they can do anything. Like I've never seen them handle a gun. I've never seen them fight. So I think it's pretty fair to put them here. Thier also cannot fight for being a bum. Nah, Thier is pretty good. They had an umbrella. That's something. I mean, Shaxton, welcome to stream. Okay, it's you who said that. They help in castle. Did least less damage. Talking about the parasites humans, did they do anything? Because like I don't remember that they did anything. All right, so this is another controversial pick, Sabiwa. Sabiwa managed to use the roots to support the building, as I said, but like I've never seen him or her fight anybody else or do anything. So like you can't argue Sabiwa should be in the humans that can't fight category or tier list or placement. But like, I don't know, like, I don't know if just using a seed to support a building counts as like a character that can fight. So for now, just to be very precise, maybe we should put Sabiwa at we do not know. What do you guys think? I think this concludes the humans that cannot fight, and I think it's pretty decent placement. We cannot put one above another because they just equally cannot fight. I don't know if like okay, if I have to put somebody above all of them, it should be Gaia's Wrath humans, maybe with summoning other uh, uh, animals they can't actually deal with some human level characters, or maybe the lawless humans since they are accustomed to like harsh environment they can fight maybe like, but like for now we still didn't see a single thing. However, all of these characters are bums except for Masayoshi because Masayoshi compensate for his lack of fighting with his genius intellect. Gun basically useless, probably like throwing rock to demons when Halo getting attacked. All right, so I think it's pretty fair. Now we're gonna go to humans that cannot fight, and I think the controversy when it comes to this tiering list starts from now. By the way, guys, I'm gonna repeat this. This is the first time I'm making a tier list. It's not like I made one before and now I'm just repeating it. It's just based on my general knowledge on verses. So like I can't be wrong from like certain things. And if you guys believe that I have a character above another and it shouldn't be the case, make sure to give me the arguments in the chat. That's why we're doing this live. Alright, I think you might be able to argue parasitica humans can fight. They were seen shooting demons. I don't remember if they killed any though. I mean, if they can't shoot humans, I'm gonna put them. If we've seen that they were shooting with guns, I'll put them in humans that can fight. I still like do not remember where that happened. If you have a specific chapter for that, I'm gonna go and check right now. All right. For now, they're just gonna be here. All right. Now we're gonna go to humans that can fight, and I think they're pretty self-explanatory. And so, like when I say humans that can fight, obviously there are humans that can fight that could be placed in heroes level, but we're saying, they are human level, right? They're humans that can fight, but they're human level because heroes, they're not human level. They're actually like way above humanity in terms of strength. All right, so humans that can fight, we're just gonna put them right now. We're just gonna place them without ranking them, and then after we finish with the list, we're gonna rank them. All right, who are we gonna put here? We're gonna start from here. Kyla is a human that can fight. Mecha Ordnance Soldiers. Who else? I think mages. I mean, you could be consider them like you could consider them above human, but like for now we're just gonna the Tangola. I forgot the chapter, but it was during the time Kiva invaded the human council and a bunch of humans from other worlds backed Halo up. Okay, we're gonna go check it. I think it's around chapter 10. Yo, what happened? Is it exactly when Pakia joined the fight? Din Dimitri, welcome. We're so back. Good to see you. Yeah, so like I don't remember exactly where. Is this them? Is this supposed to be them? Alright, if these are them, we're just gonna put them here. Alright, let's continue. Humans that can fight. Who else do we have? I think Salmon is considered to be a human that can fight, even though there is a statement that says, I think it's by Masayoshi. He said that these humans, talking about Titan Crown humans, he said they're like you wouldn't even consider them humans in the first place. But I don't think Salmon is a character that can, take out Kyla, and that's why, I'm still placing her at humans that can fight. And in comparison to other Titan Crowns, she's the one that has the least feats. Bragans and Pakia did much better than what Salmon did. Like Salmon did absolutely nothing but throw that animal to the lawless base. And I don't think, just judging by pushing and pulling strength, we're gonna just put her above human. So yeah, like I think she should be human level. Where would you put Berserk? In theory, he won against the Demon Lord, but the scene before puts such a heavy emphasis on cursed tech that it hints heavily at Berserk using cursed tech against the first. I think like I don't want to spoil what I would should like where should I put him, but like if you stay here on the stream, you're gonna see. Uh, he is like around here, around Demon Lord tier. It's self-explanatory since he was able to defeat one, and we're gonna talk about like the possibility if he actually defeated one by himself or like using his team, or maybe he used other stuff from other natural enemies. It doesn't matter if he can use them right now efficiently by himself. It's still a it's still him who's doing that. Humans that can fight. Who do we have also? Uh, yeah, I'm actually running blank right now. Okay, Kyla, no armor. We also have Celestia humans. We have Neo humans. Humans. I shouldn't have put Neo humans here. I should have put Neo Terra humans. So like maybe I'm gonna correct that mistake after. Okay, I do have another controversial placement, and people might actually hate it. What is it? Demon soldiers, specifically Joshi normal soldiers. I feel Berserk spammed Curse Tech, Fairy Union, World's Trees, Sap, etc. It could be the case. I don't know if it was Nudo who said that he was gonna use the first hero, not his friends or something. Yeah, that kind of implies that like he only thinks that the first hero is strong. Like maybe he doesn't know about the others. All right, so I think this is it for humans that can fight. Bragging too, base bragging. All right, so this is it. Now we're just gonna tier them. We're gonna rank them, I mean. But if you put Berserk at Demon Lord tier, if you used Cursed Tech, you should put all humans at Demon Lord tier by defeating natural enemies through the use of other natural enemies. Now, so here's the thing. As I said, I don't know if you were here on stream, but like every single character that uses a soul container, I'm placing them at prep time merchants. They need prep time in order to pull it off, right? Bolas, for example, is able to injure Galua, base Galua, but I'm not going to put him above base Galua because he was only able to do that one time, and it was by the help of Pakia and Halo. Like he needed for them to distract uh, Galua for him to pull that off. And Rinri is the same case too. Rinri, he's seen that the Tyrant's Bear is in the base, went to the prison, took 50 lives, so he needed prep time, and then he killed the Tyrant's Bear. And the Tyrant's Bear was being pushed, I didn't even say pushed, distracted by the Titans, the control Titans from the lawless humans, right? So, so these guys, Soul Container characters, they are prep merchant characters. However, it's a different case if you have already some energy stored in your weapon, and like you fight with that. Like you don't need others to distract your opponents, leave and take that energy and come back. It's a different case if you have like a gun and then use it in battle. So I reckon maybe Berserk employ the soul container in the middle of the fight Since he is fast and stronger than any other humans from the cursed lands, he doesn't need prep time. You know, with his speed and with his strength, he can just like during the fight, like absorb energy from, you know, from the ground or whatever. So if that's the case, I'm not gonna put him here. Obviously, I'm gonna put him, you know, in the lord tier. But as I said, the Berserk's placement we're gonna have today is speculations and assumptions. We have absolutely no idea how strong he is, or if he had help from other characters, or maybe he didn't even defeat the first Demon Lord. Maybe it's, you know, maybe it's something we still do not know. So yeah, like as I said, prep time merchants reserved for soul container characters. All right, let me continue with ranking these characters. So the characters that are going to be above all the other humans are obviously the characters that can use weapons or magic. For example, Kyla and these soldiers. Kyla, I think, is above these soldiers because she's a commander. So maybe since she is a commander, she's better uh, in handling, you know, firearms, or maybe like she has better hand-to-hand training. So yeah, like we're gonna put her above every soldier. The Celestia humans, they can fly and shoot cosmic lasers. And these cosmic lasers, they were actually able to paralyze other normal humans. I mean, like the lawless humans. And speaking of the lawless humans, they should be right here. And so like any character that has a weapon is obviously above other characters that doesn't have a weapon. When it comes to the Celestial humans, when we compare them to the Mecha Ordinance humans, it's, I think they're interchangeable, right? You would argue that maybe Kyla with her rifle, she would be able to shoot these humans if they fly, and you would be able to argue that these humans would be able to cripple not Arya, Kyla, and they would be able to dodge her attacks in the sky. Because I don't believe that Kyla has um, experience in fighting characters that can't fly. Never mind, scratch that, because the naval robot can actually fly. Feel like, as I said, these guys are interchangeable, right? But I would say that Kyla having an armor can at least allow her to guard against, you know, other attacks from other like characters, um in comparison to celestial humans that doesn't have any armor. They're just like, I don't know what this suit does. So yeah, like these characters are interchangeable. And then normal mages, you can argue the normal mages are above these guys because these guys, first of all, they do not have magic resistance, and they're not aware of how magic works. They've seen one or two spells, but it doesn't mean that like they're now equipped to handle every single spell. Same thing goes for the mages when going up against these soldiers. They've seen them use bullets, but like, you know, there are other types of firearms and weapons, maybe a grenade, maybe like, you know, whatever. So, you know, as I said, these guys that can shoot from a long distance, they are very interchangeable. Let me read the chat. Old human from Neo probably put in can't fight. From Neo, old human. Oh, we're gonna get to why this character is here. All right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense since some humans can beat them one-on-one. All right. Base Bragan did block a Titan attack. We're gonna get to that in a second. Would that put him at the top of that tier? Curse tech is too easy to use, so any natural enemy in the future can use it. All right. How long did this tier list took to make? I still didn't make the. Oh, you're talking about like every single image. I think like it took me, if we're gonna combine the hours, I think it took me around like 3 to 4 hours. I can't get over how good it looks. I'm absolutely loving the coloring, and adding the name is such a charm. And may I add the calming sound of your voice? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. If you want to use the steering list, it's in the description. Anybody can use it. All right. That makes sense for your Bozark explanation. Thanks, no problem. I wonder where Gore skills. We're gonna get to that, and I have like very controversial takes, especially when it comes to Gore and Facatio, Chimera and Facatio. Alright, Gore should be above human with that, with what we have seen of him. No, 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 no. He's way above that. All right. So we're gonna continue with these guys. Based on you guys telling me that Parasitica humans can handle guns, they should be right here. But like I don't feel like they can defeat these guys. I would put the normal mages right here. Now we're gonna get to characters that do not have any firearms, and so like it requires for them to fight on a close distance. First of all, one thing I need to say before the normal lawless humans, I'm ranking them based on not having firearms. We've seen that they can handle bazookas, and we've seen that they have some sort of firearms they can use, and even a soul container. This guy specifically, if I remember correctly, used the soul container to destroy this, or like pulverize this building, right? However, if we're gonna assume that they have a weapon on, they will be around Kyla or these guys' levels. However, I wouldn't be putting them above characters that have military training. These guys, they're like very accustomed to chaotic environments. They live in a Mad Max kind of verse, but like I wouldn't be thinking that they would be handling firearms or guns or weapons better than characters who has military training. But for now, we're gonna rank them based on like having absolutely no weapons. So Samon and Kyla should be interchangeable, and the reason I'm saying this, I don't think Kyla can press Samon, to be honest. I'm the kind of person who actually love MMA, UFC, boxing, all that kind of stuff. And I understand that weights matter, right? Weight class matters. A heavyweight, a featherweight, or a lightweight he cannot fight a heavyweight. And Salmon is a heavyweight, if you think about it. Like her body is very, like she's big, she has insane muscles, and her throwing and lifting strength is off the charts. So like if she's fighting with Kyla, she's gonna throw her to, I don't know, like she's gonna throw her out of the building if they're inside one. So Kyla, the reason I have Kyla no armor slash weapons in the first place is because if you guys go and check the character profile one has released of her on Twitter, he does say that she is actually proficient in hand-to-hand combat. Like she's pretty good in hand-to-hand combat. So like if you are near Kyla and you're just a normal human, you're not gonna be able to defeat her. Except with characters from the Titan Crown, humans who Masayoshi, a very intelligent character, stated that these guys, they like you can't even consider them not humans. All right. So Kyla, she's not defeating Samon, and Samon, I can see Samon like destroying all of these guys, but these guys have the advantage because they can shoot her from a long distance. All the lawless are pretty jacked. Yeah. I think it's a design thing. I mean, if I have to take that in consideration, maybe they should be scaling way above. All right, so normal Joshi soldiers, we've seen that these guys with weapons, they were able to deal with them easily. Even normal celestial humans, they were able to pulverize them. And so, you can argue that since they have swords and they have other sorts of weapons, maybe they can press Kylo, you know? Kyla is good with hands. However, hands are not gonna do you any good when, a sword or a knife is involved. So like you can argue that normal soldiers, these guys could be here. And listen, one thing I gotta note, normal soldiers, we've seen that their strength is different from a soldier to another, right? I wouldn't be saying that all normal soldiers are equal in terms of strength. Same as when I talk about the Mecha Ordnance soldiers, not all of them are, you know, efficient in handling any firearms. But the ones we've seen specifically from Chapter 2, they were, like normal humans, they were dealing with them. It's just that they had numbers. They also have quality over quantity when it comes to leaders and lords. But like soldiers themselves, specifically Joshi's normal soldiers, they're not really that crazy. I think Samon would deal with them same way Palkia did, even though Palkia is stronger than Samon. A tier list, let's go. Welcome to the stream, Jetstan. Jetstan. Jetsteam Dan. Okay. So I think the way it is, okay, we're gonna go with base Bragant. We're gonna put him right here. Base Bragant was able to fend off a bad swing from a Titan, right? And you can't argue that this is above human because no, these characters cannot do that. And now that I'm thinking about it, normal Celestia, one of them was shooting the Titans with his lasers, and the Titans like didn't really feel it that much. Like Bragant could be above the Celestia just because he was able to fend off one single attack. Bragant is actually insanely weird. Sometimes I think like he should be like just human level, and these guys with firearms, maybe with the rifle, they can defeat him. And sometimes I think, okay, because he was able to fend off an attack from a Titan and didn't die instantly, and these guys I would reckon they would die instantly from a Titan attack, he should be above human. So what do you guys think? Jet's team. I think I did a typo when I first made the name. It's okay. So what do you think about Bragant? For now, we're gonna put Bragant here. Obviously, Red Pale Bragant is different. Red Pale Bragant is gonna be on a completely different tier. Alright, so the reason I have the neo-humans, right? The neo-Terra humans, they were at least able to do something when they were trying to save Zabi from the Lawless, because Zabi was infected by a parasite, if I remember correctly, and these neo-humans, they used some motorcycles and they were able to fend off other lawless humans. So like they at least did something, right? You can't say that these guys should be here. They cannot fight, but they did something on screen. These bums did absolutely nothing except for Masayoshi. It was low power though. Yeah, I do remember it was low power. Yeah, like I think I'm confident with this. What do you guys think? Armor. So these guys, they're above everybody else because they just can't shoot from a distance, right? And they have strong weapons. Kyla and the normal soldiers, they have these insane rifles. So I think, with them, they can destroy any of these characters. And then we get to the characters that can scrap hands. I think this is pretty fair. Base Bragant and base Samon being strong humans, they can destroy these normal soldiers. These normal soldiers have knives and swords, and maybe Kyla couldn't handle them in close quarter combat. Lawless humans without their weapons, we didn't see anything impressive. And neo humans, neo Terra humans, they were at least to do something on screen. So for now, I think this is pretty fair. All right, now we're gonna go to above human level, right? Above human level, I mean, you can't call them like you can't say superhuman, right? They're still humans, but they're not quite heroes level, and they're not normal human level. And so I think I can if I think about it, like I have maybe like 5 characters in mind. So number one would be Gore, right? Who else do we have? All right, Zabi, Yuto. Who else do we have? Hmm. Normal AI robots, the very first robots. The wolves, the Crimson Forest wolves, or animals in general, like the ones that Boxer was talking about. I think I'm missing someone. Alright, if I'm missing somebody, we're just gonna find him later. Alright, so these are the characters that I believe are above human, and the reason is pretty simple. I'm gonna talk about every single one of them. Lawless Gore, when I was doing a stream, somebody here, I think it's the Tangola or Kaino above Akainu, or Akainu above Kaino. Kaido, goddamn. Um, did tell me that Gore was able to blitz his way out of Mecha Ordnance soldiers. Like Mecha Ordnance soldiers, they shot at the lawless humans, and Gore literally blitzed his way out of there. Like you cannot see him on panel. Not only this, Gore was able to uh, dodge an attack from a Parasite Tyrant's Bear. A Parasite Tyrant's Bear is no joke. It was able to blitz a lot of normal lawless humans, but Gore and Rindri, they were able to dodge him. It was low power though. Would older Zoo be there? Talking about the hero Zoo? What about Tortoise Robots? We're gonna get to that in a second. Hero level, at least I think. Yeah, I don't think that Gore is hero level, to be honest. Like for now, he didn't show a single thing that showcases he's a hero level. Like he does have a sword. We've never seen how he fights. He was just able to blitz his way out of out of bullets way, and he was able to dodge a Tyrant's Bear, and that's all he has done. Like we need more from him to be able to say he's hero level. All right, the small wolves should be above heroes. Boxer said he accidentally killed heroes with 2-3 punches, then said the wolves were better. We don't realize how brutal Crimson Force is. That's actually a pretty good point. It's a very good point. My thing here is, did um were they able to attack him at any panel? Like, because his ability just renders them useless. But like that's a really good point. Since he said that like heroes are nothing, like 3 to 2 shots can kill them, but like these wolves are actually very impressive. But so for now we're just gonna rank them after. That's, that's a pretty good point. All right, no boost Zabi and no boost Gyuta. The reason I have them above human is simple. It was stated that these guys can handle high tier spells, and that's what made them captains. That's why they are above normal mages. So these guys are above any other normal mages we've seen, including any mage that went with the heroes, like went with the hero to fight against the demon lord. Any mage that is a part of the heroes party, Zabi and Gyuta, they're above them because they're captains. That's not just it. Uh, Zabi, in terms of feats, in terms of speed, reaction speed, and like being able to handle himself against any like normal natural enemy, he's proven to be like I wouldn't say way above, but like above these normal humans. And again, these guys, when they use high spell magic, these guys do not have any resistance to counter it or to defend against it. The thing with Zabi and Gyuta, they're very interchangeable because Gyuta is stated to have more mana than Zabi, and therefore, like if they are captains and they're equal, they would be fighting until Zabi runs out of gas, and Gyuta can still keep going because he has more mana. It was stated. However, Gyuta, before he died, he stated that like Zabi is actually a genius. Like in terms of performing spells and coming up with ideas, like he's just, in terms of being a mage in general, he's better than him. So it's up to your interpretation which one you should be placing above the other. But for now, I have Zabi above Gyuta. And when we're talking Gyuta, we're obviously not talking about the whole thing where the fairy of Aryo sacrificed herself to give him power. We're saying no boost Gyuta. Are we gonna go to the chat? Question. Was it stated if there was a rank among the forests? I remember some statements about the green forest being more calm. I think there is something that kind of suggests that the Crimson Forest is more dangerous than the Verdant Forest, and that's all we have. I think the Stygian, whatever, I don't know how to say that, and Forest and the Sea, I think they are implied to being like I wouldn't say stronger, but more like dangerous places in comparison to the Verdant and Crimson. All right, the basic robot drone should be on this tier. Which one are you talking about? All right. A hero going in the Crimson Forest would end up lost, presumably eaten by the locals. Could be the case. Even random birds from Verdant Forest were no diffing robots. That's actually true. I'm pretty sure he just colored them. They never tanked an attack or anything. Yeah, so that's why like I'm very hesitant to put them above heroes or on the heroes tier. I think heroes could hang because like if you guys remember, if we go to the serpent or this bird, the Gaia's rat bird, if I remember correctly, it was from the Verdant Forest. It was threat level 4 by like estimated by the naval robot, right? And Hero Halo right now is threat level 6. So Halo is above these birds and these serpents. And do we think that the wolves are stronger than these two? Really doesn't look like that. But I consider him superhuman since he dodged the Titan Bear and caught Zabi hiding casually. Plus, he's still alive after having his eye ate through. Yeah, I would have Rinri here, right? But for now, I think Rinri is a prep time merchant since he's using the soul container. I think this is where we like because you can argue he's above even the Tyrant's Bear. Wasn't Gyuda stated to have more mana than Zabi? I just did that. I just said that. Gore and Rinri reaction speed is really fast for humans. Exactly. Does she need to be number one most powerful? No. What makes Crimson Forest above Verdant Forest is that it has more large apex predators compared to the Verdant Forest. That's actually a good point. It was said in the previous chapter. Does this mean Kiva is high diffing a common bird? I think so. Kiva? No, Kiva in his burst form is level 6 too. So he is pretty comfortably above the birds. Alright, let's continue. So for now I think this is it for above humans. You can't argue that the tortoise, the second line of defense when it comes to the robots factory could be here too. Because I think the tortoise like would be killing these guys easily, like if they were walking towards the factory, but I believe they have a better placement. We're gonna see where to put them after. All right, now we're gonna go to heroes level, and heroes level is, I would say, very controversial. Actually, very controversial. And a lot of people would hate a lot of things that I'm gonna be saying right now. Wolves being from Crimson Forest plus fangs and claws type of animals should put them comfortably above birds from Green Forest, in my opinion. That plus the opinion from Boxer, it kind of checks out. I do understand, but like again, Boxer didn't see the Verdant Forest too. There are some animals from the Verdant Forest. Like, listen, I don't remember if the catfish is from the Verdant Forest. Did they like specifically say they're from the Verdant Forest? Because like the catfish was easily eating base titans. Like, it's like so. Listen, what I'm saying is a forest being more dangerous than the other does not mean that any animal from the other forest is below the animals that are from the dangerous forest. I'm not gonna say every single animal there is like stronger than the snakes and the birds. Gore seems like his enforcer, while Rinri leads with his intellect. Yeah, but like Rinri did show a better reaction speed, not a relative reaction speed to Gore. All right, let's continue. Now we're gonna go to the heroes level, and heroes level is very controversial. All right, so we're just gonna start placing characters without really ranking them, and then after we're gonna do the rankings. So heroes level, obviously we're gonna have mentally nerfed Halo. Halo, like even when he was mentally nerfed, still showcased that he is above even the above humans. He was able to fend off an attack from a Titan without getting injured. However, that Titan is 50 to 20 feet tall is not as strong, assumably, as the one Bragant had to deal with. But Halo also has another feat that I think made Bragant and Samon kind of impressed, which is when he grabbed Pakia, even though he was mentally nerfed, Pakia couldn't fend off his grab. Like he couldn't move. They literally said that. So like that right there tells you that mentally nerfed Halo is still above Pakia, who is above these guys. Go Ruby. All right. He's also not even trying to kill the wolves. He wants to add them to his collection. Yeah, like nothing says that Boxer cannot kill them with one single hit. Like the same as the other heroes. And you gotta remember also that the Boxer is talking about the heroes from the perspective of fighting the 33rd hero. And till now, as I said, and I always say in my streams, it's still it's still checking out. It's still solid to say that heroes are ranked based on their numbers, like in terms of strength. Because the first is stronger than the third is stronger than the ninth is stronger than the 11th, and the 11th is stronger than Arya. I don't remember his placement. So like it still checks out. So 33rd is like it's like you're weak. All right, what is your thoughts on the possible idea of a secret natural enemy? And if you had a chance to add your own natural enemy, what would it be? I never thought about it, and if it would be the case, I would be like, it would be an insane twist. I would love it. But like another natural enemy, I would be saying something that like it would never happen, but like I would love it if like the chances of it happening is like 0.00001%. But like if it happens, like I would love it. Imagine versus imagine versus doing like the characters like merging the worlds and all, they actually manages to bring something from another story of one, like One Punch Man or Mob Psycho, right? Like you can argue that One Punch Man's natural enemies are the monsters, and Mob Psycho's natural enemies are the curses. You can say the curses they need to deal with. So like it would be really cool if we see like an Easter. I wouldn't say an Easter egg. What's the word for it? We see like some characters from One Punch Man or Mob Psycho in verses, even if it's just a one chapter or two chapters thing. And you can do it because it's a story of one, and they don't really need to buy buy the characters or buy copyrights for the characters. Rights, not copyrights. All right, let's continue, guys. We're kind of drifting away from the tiering list. All right, heroes level. We have Halo, and we explained why we have him there. We have Bragant. We're gonna talk about him later. Who do we have also? We're just gonna bring every single hero here. Mukbuk, even though we don't know a single thing about him, we can still put him in the heroes level because heroes were stated to be above mages. This mage specifically, when he's seen Halo being defeated by a demon lord, he said even these heroes who were specifically chosen by the king to go fight the demon lords were defeated, kind of implying that like the heroes are above mages. But like obviously mages do have ways to win, like I don't know, using high spells or prep time or whatever. Like for example, Zabi with Word Essence, I would see him do something against Halo. Like maybe just maybe like just press him with one single attack. All right. World Tree boost Halo, Ario, Pakia. Pakia is definitely here. Mentally nerfed Zoo. You can argue that mentally nerfed Zoo places right here, by the way. But I think it's better to just, put him at we do not know. Let me go to the chat. All right, just take my eyes away from the chat and just find like a lot of messages. He also not even. All right, what is your thought? We've read that. Halo above Pakia is pretty obvious. I mean, it is pretty obvious. Even in their sparring, Halo has more wins over him. It's implied and showed many times. Okay, base Palkia 2. I mean, we are contradicting the direct opinion of a demon lord who fought both. I get it, I get what you're saying. Okay, I remember Zabi saying this is all the threats we know so far. So it made me think there's definitely a hidden threat. It would be pretty cool. I don't think he's capable of taming heroes. His power seems to only work on beasts. No, nobody is arguing that he can tame heroes. We're just arguing if he can actually one, two to three shots these heroes, and we're arguing if, for example, he didn't fight the wolves and he tried to kill them, would the wolves give him a better fight than the other heroes? Like, I highly doubt it. Like, maybe with the 33rd and heroes that are like low tier, maybe it's the case. But like, I don't see those wolves being able to contend with Hallow, like specifically current Hallow. Makbak Goated got brainwashed, right? Yeah, I think we're gonna see him in the future. All right, now we're caught on with the chat. Let's continue with the tiering list. All right, so current Hallow. This is not really current Hallow. I should edit it. This is post Kiva Hallows. This is like post the entire arc where the Medallions come and then Daikokuzan destroys the ship. This is post that arc Hallow. All right, we have two hands Hallow, obviously. Who do we have also? Where's Kiva? Where is we have Shinso, we have Bikuk, what do we have also? We have Base Titans. I think this is the tier that has a lot of characters, by the way. We have Base Abyss, Base Bolst. Who else do we have? Okay, Burst Kiva, Burst Oppo, Burst Shinso, Burst Bikuk, Naver Limited Release, Drumming Mode Titans, released Kiva, Base Kiva, Base Naver, and I think that's pretty much it. And then Base Ario, and maybe Base Connie. Alright, now we're gonna start ranking these characters, and a lot of you are not gonna hear what I'm gonna be saying. Yeah, I just don't see those wolves being hero tier personally. Same thing. But like, it is a statement by a demon lord, and nothing contradicts the statement so far. So, Base Abyss. Assuming that Abyss has a fairy union, right? Like, that's the only reason I wrote that. Ario is down there before he goes Abyss mode. All right. So the strongest of this tier, and you guys are gonna hate it, okay? I think he's Abyss, bro. Okay, and then after we have Bolst. So when I'm placing these two characters here, let me just make a disclaimer, right? When I'm placing these two characters here, it's written base, but like, not I'm not just talking about base. I'm talking about like all like them in general, like maybe using fairy union too. The reason I'm saying this is because these two have statements to put them above two hands Hallow. When Abyss was defeated, the mage that was with Hallow, he said even Abyss was defeated, the thunder, whatever. Like, he was glazing the shit out of him. So Abyss is supposed to be an insane character, insane hero, and he is number 3. And as I said, when it comes to the heroes, when it comes to the demon lords, it's debunks right now. Numbers do not reflect the strength of a demon lord, but when it comes to the heroes, there's nothing that contradicts that. Berserk number 1 seems to be the strongest. Abyss is number 3, and then Boss is number 9, and then we have Hallow, and then we have Ario. Ario literally stated that Hallow is stronger than him, right? So it still checks out. Maybe this is gonna change in the future, but for now, I do have Abyss above Boss, above two hands Hallow. And the reason Boss is above two hands Hallow, I really trust what Penny said He said, yo, I should have been paired with Bulls to make a name for myself, kind of like insinuating that Halo is not as strong as Bulls. And we know that Pani Pani does know how to sense power levels or sense danger level, right? Because Penny Penny is the only one that was able to tell that out of all the battlefields that has demon leaders and medallions and other characters, the true danger is coming. It's like Penny Penny was able to deduce that like the strongest one right here is actually Daikokuzan. So, I have Bolst and Abyss right here. Hold on, let me check the chat. I'm not trying to push any agenda, right? Like it's I feel like this is gonna be proven to be correct in the future. Before he goes Abyss mode, you put Connie in above human, not heroes. We're gonna get to that. Connie was tricked by the lawless. We didn't see how it went. Oh yeah, my bad. So like I put her in above human. That's what you meant. I'm sorry. Alright, base Titans, we're gonna get to that. He's carried by statements, but good statements. Exactly. Pakia needs to go down, I think. No. You must be joking if you think Pakia needs to go down. All right, so base Abyss and base Bulls, we've like explained why I think they're here. The one that should be below them is Two Hands Hallow. And here's the thing: a lot of people, even like when I made the video of how strong Joshi is, right? A lot of people were commenting that because when I made the comparison of like Joshi was able to no soul two hits from Two Hands Hallow, and I believe that Two Hands Hallow is stronger than the Hallow we've got um in the Medallions arc, if you wanna call it that, because like the reason I believe that that's the case is because I don't believe that heroes, especially the top tiers, especially the strongest, are all gonna be like demon leaders victims. I think they're gonna be able to compete with demon leaders, defeat them even, and the only threats that would be able to defeat them is a demon lord. There is absolutely nothing that suggests otherwise. The reason Kiva, a lot of people believe that the Hallow that fought against Kiva is stronger than Two Hands Hallow is because Kiva said, yo, you're supposed to be nothing but an outlet for my stress. He was implying that Hallow isn't supposed to be this strong. However, Kiva has never met a hero ever. Even Nudo never met a hero. The hero project was a secret. They were, building them up, making them stronger, and they got them in this one level of strength. They were confident they can defeat the demon lords, but it was obviously wrong. However, I would think that the heroes, when they go to any castle, they would be able to compete with the demon lord, and then not demon lord, demon leader, and then get defeated by a demon lord. That's like the safest assumption. Obviously, like the low tiers, maybe like the low tiers heroes, maybe they wouldn't even be able to defeat demon leaders. But I'm talking about top tier heroes, Bulls, Abyss, and Hallow. I think if Hallow didn't meet Joshi right off the bat and met Kiva, he would be able to dominate him. And listen, one is not that kind of author that would give an insane boost to a character out of nowhere just because you became courageous. So like you mean to tell me that Hallow was too much weaker than even base Kiva. I do remember that in chapter 1, Kiva using his release was able to kind of dominate Hallow. Hallow was scared. So you mean to tell me that a boost out of nowhere came to Hallow that made him way like made him go from like being way weaker than base Kiva or release Kiva to easily destroy burst mode Kiva. I don't think that that's the case. I think Hallow, when he went to fight against Kiva, he already knows, okay, I have the strength to actually defeat this guy. I was just mentally nerfed. Let me check the chat. Kiva was thinking the heroes were trash, didn't expect to get humbled that bad. Exactly. And I don't think they were aware of how strong the heroes were. All right. Mental nerf in one stories is a real thing. Mob Psycho is literally revolved around being mentally nerfed. One Punch Man, when it comes to Darkshine, he was mentally nerfed most of the times. Even now, like current chapters that we have, Darkshine is mentally nerfed to the point where he was actually getting pressed by what's the name of that Neo hero? What's the name of that Neo hero? Raiden, right? And spoilers alert, from what we know from the webcomics, Raiden is like is it's inconceivable how weaker Raiden is in comparison to Darkshire. So like a mental nerf is like a very it's a real thing when it comes to one stories. The people glazing Abyss at the start of the series would have put him over Joshi on a tier list. Nah, okay, not to that extent. I'm pretty sure Halo stated he's still getting adjusted to fight with. Yeah, that's another point that I was gonna talk about. Halo's entire fighting style, as we've seen it in Chapter 1, is using two hands, switching from right to left, kind of like doing feints and all that stuff. So he is, accustomed to fight with two hands when using his sword. And now he did say, as the person in chat said, he did say that he's still getting accustomed to fight with one hand, meaning in terms of fighting style, he is weaker than before. So like, this is what I have here, all right? If you guys hate it, it's fine. Nothing proves I'm wrong, and nothing proves I'm right too. But like in the future, we're gonna get confirmation this is true or not. All right, let's continue. Now, the one that I'm gonna have below Halo is, where is he? World Tree Boost Halo. So listen, here's the thing, guys. World Tree Boost Halo from current chapter, right? We know absolutely nothing about him. We know that he just got stronger. He said, okay, I'm feeling like I'm stronger because of the World Tree essence, I guess. It could have boosted him enough to let him surpass his two-hand state, or even like make him even above base and base, not base, like Abyss and Bulls. However, like since we didn't see anything, I think it's safe to put him right here. Like I think it's interchangeable. The one that comes after that is current Halo. As I said, this is not current Halo, this is after he fought Kiva Halo, right? This one has proved to be above demon leaders, being able to easily dominate Kiva. I would say the only problem that he would have against Kiva is stamina, and that's why he's training his stamina right now. Because after he was depleted from fighting multiple demon soldiers, he tried to attack Kiva, and Kiva easily, even in his released form, was able to intercept him and then hit him back. And Kiva literally said, "Yo, bro, you got weaker because of like running out of stamina against the demon soldiers." So yeah, like current Halo is obviously above demon leaders. Who do we have after that? All right, the characters that I'm gonna have after that are, I think we missed somebody. Hold on. Okay, the Ganazal Generals. I would have the Ganazal Generals after Halo. You can argue maybe the Ganazal Generals. I'm not saying like as a team, I'm saying as an individual, right? You can argue they can defeat these guys because they were stated to be top demons by the Ganazal, if we're gonna take her words for it. She did say that like she made them to be strong enough to be a top demon. And top demon can be interpreted in different ways, right? She may be referring to demon leaders and saying, yo, like in terms of a demon leader rank, these guys are above every other demon leader. All right. Or maybe you can interpret it this way, saying like, yo, the reason she said top demon is because, okay, she boosted these guys just to become, a demon leader in general. So like not necessarily like the strongest, one of the strongest demon leaders, just like got boosted to be a demon leader. That's it. Because demon leaders, if you think about it, they're the top demons if you're not counting the demon lords. All right, let me read some chat. I haven't caught up to manga, but I hope Darkshine got his thing back. Yes. Should Heidi be hero tier? She did beat a Neva. Exactly. I forgot about Heidi. Heidi too. There are going to be a lot of characters that like I'm not going to be placing, but like during making the tier list, I'm going to remember them. Oh, this character should be here, and then I'm going to place him to his or her proper placement. All right, shoot Heidi. All right, like extreme diff, but still. All right, Word Tree Hallow was training with Pakia and the Rocks, plus the battle with Galua. No, no, you're getting confused about it. Word Tree is after that fight, after the trading with Pakia. It's like when he was hit by a naval robot, right? And then he was injured, and then they had to fight in Galua. And then they survived that, and then they went to the Spiral Mountain. And because they were near the World Tree, they were knocked down. And when they took them to the Spiral Mountains village, they healed them with the World Tree or the World Essence. And that's where Hallow says, yo, I'm getting stronger. So it's not before, it's after. All right, let's continue. So demon generals, as I said, the Ganazal's generals or leaders, it's, you know, it depends on how you interpret that statement. Maybe the Ganazal meant they're stronger than demon lords, like they're the top demon lords. Okay? Or maybe they're strong enough to be a demon lord. So if you guys want to put these guys, obviously these guys are when using burst form. If you guys want to put these guys above Kiva and his comrades, it's fine. If you guys want to put them below Kiva, it's also fine. It's I don't have any problem with it. All right, so what I'm gonna have right now is very, very controversial. All right, we're gonna have Red Pill Pakia. Okay, the reason we have Red Pill Pakia here is because he was relative with Hallow in fighting Galua, and he was standing his ground. And there is also a statement by Kiva. When Kiva saw Pakia fighting in the battlefield, he said, yo, there's also another, what's the word? Competent fighter in the human side. Like, comparing him to Hallow. Obviously, we know that he's not Hallow tier. Like, Hallow is still stronger. We've seen it in that chapter. We've seen that, like, Pakia did say, or like Hallow did say that I'm the strongest one in the group, so he's obviously stronger than Pakia. But Pakia is still a character that can't contend with him. He can still, you know, fight one-on-one with him until Pakia is depleted out of stamina, like until he's out of gas. We've seen it. The difference, the big difference they showed us between Hallow and Pakia is that Hallow has more stamina and endurance, and Pakia has less of that. Like he doesn't have as much as him. What if a fairy union hero drinks the 2 liters of word essence? I don't know. I think it's gonna be a thing of like if you drink more than a certain amount, maybe it's gonna affect you negatively, not positively. What if Gimmak chugs word essence? Like you mean the word tree? I mean, it is possible. He might one shot Yaozu. All right. So Pakia, like the reason I'm having him here is just because he was able to coordinate with Hallow to fight against Galua. It's a pretty good feat, even though Galua wasn't trying to kill them. But you can argue that Galua wasn't trying to kill only Hallow, not Pakia. So yeah, Pakia should be here. Red Pill's Pakia though. Alright, the one we're gonna have after is obviously Burst Kiva. Right? I don't know if Burst Kiva, I don't know if Red Pill Pakia can actually contend with Burst Kiva. Because if I remember correctly, normal Kiva shooting a normal blast and not named blast was able to injure Pakia, like base Pakia. So if we say both of them transform, it would mean that Burst Kiva would be stronger than Red Pill Pakia. But as I said, it's not good to power scale this way because when characters transform or different characters transform, the multiplier they have should be different. So like release from Burst Kiva, maybe the multiplier is below from base Pakia to Red Pill Pakia. Got what I mean? However, like I'd still, I wouldn't hate it if you have Burst Kiva above Red Pale Palkia. We know that Burst Kiva is not above current Halo, so this is, generally his tier. I feel like Ario should be higher than Palkia. Yeah, we're gonna get to that first, like in a second. All right, so Fairy, since you're talking about Ario, right? We're not talking about base, we're talking about Fairy Union Ario. I think Fairy Union Ario should legit be either here or even like the strongest. And we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to why for a second, right? I think the safest place is to put him right here. So Fairy Union Ario, the reason I have him here is because he was able to um he was able to kill a lot of drumming mode titans. I think it's a very, very, like, it's an insane feat. We know that current Halo can actually kill normal titans with one slash, but like the way Fairy Union Ario was doing this, he was blitzing his way out of like a lot of drumming mode titans and a lot of new humans, and he actually got a hit. I think like a drumming mode titan actually hit Ario in the stomach, and Ario kept going. So in terms of stamina, that's like insane. And Ario was also hit by the near human, like they actually stabbed him. He was still going and going and going and was able to use this Fairy Union ability to cover like the majority of the city and just blitz every single character. It looked like it took a lot from these natural enemies to actually take him down. And I believe that as a showing is much better than anything Halo has done. I think Red Pill Palkia is anywhere near blending up giants and new humans like Ario? No, no, not really. No, right now, like the way like the people who are joining right now, I'm still ranking these characters. Like this is not what I think. For now, we just have Abyss above Boss, Boss above Ario, Ario above Halo, above Halo, above Halo, above Kiva, above Generals, above Red Pill Palkia. All of these, we still didn't rank them. Only got hit because he stopped to not cut the kids. Exactly. So like I believe in terms of showing, right? Like there isn't anything concrete to say like is he above these guys or is he above Halo? But like I believe that Halo would struggle against the new humans and the drumming mode titans, and Aryo would do better because his ability allows him to do better. It's a speedster kind of like speedster like of ability. So yeah, that's what I believe about. Like that's what I have Aryo at for now. All right. Okay, let's continue. Now, since we have base Burst Kiva right here, right? Like if we place him here or here, it's fine as I said. And since we have Burst Kiva, obviously we're gonna have Burst Shinso, and then we're gonna have Burst Bikook and Burst Oppo. Because these guys, they were all relative to each other when fighting Gallo. I think it's pretty safe to say that, they're almost equal to each other. There isn't any statement or any feat to suggest that one is above the other. Alright, the characters that we're gonna have after, we're gonna have limited release Naver. Limited release Naver was able to fight against Kiva and give him an extreme difficulty fight. Kiva wasn't struggled to even keep standing up. The Naver robot was able to take off Kiva's hand and wing. So I believe that's a very good showing from the limited release Naver. But you can argue that Naver itself as a robot actually got stronger than the one who fought against Burst Kiva because of the, transmitting data and having more information about these mage type characters. The reason I'm saying this is because base Naver, when it fought against current Halo like barely was able to dodge the Naver's kick. And that's base Naver. And we know that current Halo is strong enough to actually contend with Burst Kiva and even dominate him in terms of speed. When current Halo was fighting against Kiva, Kiva didn't have any answer against Halo's speed. But the naval robot actually did something, even in base. So you can't argue that the naval robot got stronger than the one we've seen fight against Burst Kiva, right? Then after that, we're gonna have Heidi. Heidi, as I said, it all depends on the robot. I don't know if Heidi fought a base naval robot or fought a limited release robot. We know that they encountered and we know that they had to fight. However, we do not know if the naval actually used limited release. The reason I'm saying this is it's very weird in the story right now that like limited release naval is not used anymore. When they were trying to attack Kiva, not Kiva, Joshi, the AI estimated that Joshi is stronger than just threat level 10, and they requested assessing, reassessment levels or whatever. So knowing that Joshi is that strong, and you're sending neighbors or an army of neighbors to fight him, why didn't the neighbors use their limited release? Is it a thing that only happened in chapter 2 and then dropped? We're not gonna see a limited release anymore? Or is it still a thing? Because if it's still a thing, right? Neo Heidi, no, if it's not a thing, right? Base Naver would be as strong as limited release Naver. I'm guessing like if they dropped it, it was because of the very complicated design. They're not gonna always, draw this complicated robot design. And so if it's the case, base Naver is as strong as limited release Naver now, and Heidi fought something as equal as that. Right, would you ever do a streaming rating other people's tier list? I would love to do that if you join the Discord um, and drop your tier list there. If there are enough or there is enough, I'll be able to do that for sure. Okay, I feel like every neighbor we see after the second chapter, exception or flashbacks, should be stronger than the one Kiva destroyed. Flashbacks sets immediately after the word merge. The limiter neighbor isn't being shown because it's pain in the ass to draw it. Exactly. It could be the artist not wanting to draw it. Imagine drawing dozens of those. I'm so lonely. Ah, that's sad. Yeah, you're with us, bro. Like, just stay here in the stream. We're just gonna keep you company. All right. So listen, I'll have Heidi here. Okay. So I'm just gonna assume that Heidi defeated a limited release neighbor. And since it's a flashback, the limited release neighbor is just gonna be as strong as the one that burst Kiva fought. So Heidi, even though she almost died, she still defeated the neighbor robot. And I think, that's a pretty good showing. It's a very good showing. All right, after the limited release neighbor, I think it's very easy to just have the release Kiva, and then we have base Kiva, and then base Bikuk, base Shinso, and then base Oppo. Where is base Oppo? Right, I think we don't have him on the tier list. Do you guys see Oppo? There you go. Base Oppo. So yeah, Naver is stronger than Release because Release Kiva when he transformed to Burst, Naver base Naver had to transform to limited release Naver to compete. So yeah, like it's obvious that limited release Naver is stronger than Kiva because it was able to fight against the Burst Kiva. And then we have base Shinso, and I think it's safe to put base Naver here because base Naver against base Kiva, they were still competing. You could argue that base Naver should be scaling above every single base Demon Lord, simply because it was still fighting against released Kiva. When Kiva extended his hand to catch Hallow, that's release, and Naver was able to cut it off. I read verses a couple of times, but I don't remember who Oppo and Bikuk are. These are the demon lords that came to help Eva to fight against Galoa. I think in chapter 11. Yeah. Oppo and B Cook are executives fought against the aliens. Exactly. All right. So now it's gonna be like the characters that we're gonna have now. It's gonna be very hard to place them. Is because we don't have enough data, right? Where would you guys put base titans? Like because Ario, uh, like if we say like base titans are above Bragant, because Red Pill Bragant was able to push base titans easily, but like they were still able to destroy him with one single hit. I remember like one base titan slapped him, and that's kind of like heavily destroyed Red Pill Bragant. We know that like base titan is weak enough for Hallow to one shot him. So like I don't exactly know where to put base titans. Like are they like above human, or should be hero level? I think they should be hero level because base Ario, maybe mentally nerfed Ario was still like very afraid to fight them. So like a base Titan would be above Red Pill Bragant, would be above mentally nerfed Hallow, and would be above base Ario. The reason I'm saying this is, hold on, I think this is better. The reason I'm saying this is the Titan we've seen from chapter 3 was able to press Hallow with one swing, with one kind of like punch. And even though Hallow was able to defend himself against that Titan, he still felt the pressure, right? You can see him heavily sweating, like it took a lot for him to actually stop that attack. And that Titan is presumably very, very weak in comparison to the ones we see after, because he's a 15 to 20 feet Titan tall, you know? But like the ones we've seen after, they're like 60 feet tall, which is insane. So Ario Ario is stronger than mentally nerfed Hallow simply because he was able to blitz him and almost killed him, and he was like, yo, like this is not the Hallow that I know from before, and you're actually weaker than before just because of the mental nerf and being damaged from fighting the Demon Lord. And Red Pill Dragons managed to do something against the base Titan. So like I think for now these four, it's pretty solid. Let me read the chat. Castle Invasion Orc, Bragant was at best giving them some fun. Exactly. Yeah, Bragant can't even beat one Titan. They're no joke. Minimum damage. Alright, and so if we say base Titans are stronger than these guys, where do we put drumming mode Titans? Like, are they strong enough to fight against a demon leader? Like, I'm talking like one drumming mode Titan. Because we don't have like any good comparison to put to see if they can actually fight against that. It's like a friend of mine did say, suggest, right? He's assuming, he's speculating that like a drumming mode Titan, one Titan should at least be equal to like a released Demon Lord. Not Demon Lord, Demon Leader. I feel like these Titans being right below Executors feel fine. Yeah, it does feel fine. But like what do you think about drumming mode Titans though? Do you think a never released uh robot can destroy a drumming mode Titan? Do we think Heidi is destroying a drumming mode Titan? I think the safest place to put a drumming mode Titan is right here. I don't believe base Demon Lords can destroy a drumming mode. Like they should at least go release. Drumming mode above release executives. At best, I would say above base at the very least, either equal or slightly above. Yeah, I don't believe, listen, I don't believe that like a drumming mode Titan would be able to defeat any burst demon leader, but I would be putting them above released. They need to transform fully to destroy a drumming mode Titan. So I think this is fine. So for now, I think it's looking pretty good, right? Till here. Base Makabak, I would say he is, like, we don't know because he is ranked 10, so he could be even stronger than Two Hands Hallow if we say that numbers matter when it comes to heroes. But like for now, we're just gonna say we do not know, right? I think it's better. Okay. So base Palkia, where do we put base Palkia at? Because base Palkia was heavily injured by release Kiva. Like release Kiva just shot this one blast and base Palkia almost died. Literally almost died. Okay, base Palkia, I would put him below Red Pill Dragons. Like this placement of his actually makes sense. The reason is, I don't know if you guys know, in his character profile, right? It's shown that Palkia actually, before we've seen him, like in his world, before the merged world and all, when he was 15, I'm assuming he's 18 or 17 now, but like when he was 15, he was able to fight some titans and survive. They didn't say he killed the titan, but like he at least fought against them, stood his ground, and then, was able to survive. He was able to run away. So like obviously I'm not gonna put base Palkia above a titan, right? But I would say he is, above Aryo and mentally nerfed Hallow. Even though mentally nerfed Hallow showcased his clear supremacy when it comes to strength, but equally to that, we've seen that Palkia was able to injure Hallow when they both headbutted. Right? When they both headbutted, Hallow was bleeding, Palkia was not bleeding. So I think these guys are very interchangeable. Okay, so Aryo is above Hallow, so these guys, I would say, Palkia and Hallow are very interchangeable. Base Palkia might be the weakest. Not sure if he's above base heroes, but fine. Yeah, I wouldn't think he's base like above base Aryo, but like at least interchangeable with Hallow. All right, base Facatio. We know absolutely nothing about him. Base Zoo, we know nothing about him, and base Canny, we know that she was tricked by some lawless humans. So like if I have to be very precise, they should be in the we do not know category, but like based on their status as heroes, even though their numbers, like in terms of numbers, they're like way low. I think they should be right here. Yeah, you could argue they're like above base Palkia. So like maybe this is accurate. Yeah, so I don't know how to feel about like from here to here. Like from here, from Abyss to mentally nerfed Hallow, I think this is pretty solid. I think it's very solid. Abyss above Bulls, Bulls above Aryo, Aryo above Hallow, Two Hands Hallow, and Word Tree Boost, very interchangeable, right? Current Hallow, meaning, post Kiva's Hallow. These generals could be interchangeable with these, with these guys, depending on how you interpret that statement. Red Pit Palkia was able to fight with Hallow against Galua. It's a very good showing. And these guys, they're all relative. New human Heidi was able to fight against a Naver. We're assuming she's stronger than a limited release Naver. She fought a limited release Naver. We're assuming that limited release Naver and burst demon leaders are stronger than a drumming mode Titan, who's stronger than release and base demon leaders. Base Titans below demon lords should be very fair. Dragons couldn't do a single thing to Titans. They treated him like he's fun, like it's fun to fight him. Red Pill Dragons at least was able to push the Titans where base Arya was insanely scared of them. He was with him and didn't do a single thing. Arya was able to literally on screen blitz Hallow and almost kill him, and literally like told us that he is stronger than his mental state. Facatio, Zoo, and Palkia and Kani, we do not know. For Palkia, we know like he's relative to Hallow. So like I'm just gonna have this, and these guys we will have them at like we simply do not know. It's better. Didn't say that Base Connie was like, wasn't it showed that Base Connie was actually killed by like a soul container? I think a base hero would be stronger than a mentally nerfed Hallow. Should be, yes. Like, I don't know. I think because that's even below his base. I think your basic Ario here should be mentally nerfed Ario. He was still traumatized by New though, and only got in proper mindset when he used Fairy Union. So non-mentally nerfed was kind of merged with it. I mean, sure, yes, like this is mentally nerfed Aryo, but like his mental nerf wasn't as insane as Hallow's mental nerf, if you got what I mean. Like just seeing other characters die and get traumatized from that is not the same as fighting a demon lord. Fighting a demon lord is insane. So you can argue that base Aryo being mentally nerfed like these guys could be above him because we're talking about these characters without the nerf. But you know, I don't think it's really concrete to say that this is this is fair. We're gonna have this. We're gonna like we're gonna say that this is fair, and then we continue. I think like now that I'm thinking about it, it's actually fair because these guys are mentally nerfed, and Pacquiao was only able to contend with Hallow because Hallow was mentally nerfed too. But then again, Pacquiao was able to make Hallow bleed, but the Hallow who bled was not mentally nerfed. That's insane, bro. Like, it's kind of confusing. All right. I mean, she fought royal children and managed to get her party out injured but alive. That's true. It also shows with Arya at the time being scared of Titans, which Hallow can one-shot. Non-mentally nerfed Arya would have been able to kill them too. There is this one now that I'm thinking about it, right? We're ranking Ario like based on his not just base Ario. This is mentally nerfed Ario, because there is this one statement from Hallow, from current Hallow, from the Hallow that fought against Kiva. He did say that if I if me and Ario fought against the Titans, we would have like maybe won, right? So base Ario, I think, would be able to actually defeat Titans, but we're talking about like mentally nerfed Ario, right? As somebody in the chat said, I completely forgot about it. Connie was able to fight against Royal Roach's soldiers, and Royal Roach's soldiers are actually strong. They are strong. So yeah, I think we should be putting Royal Roach's soldiers in this tier too. What do you guys think? One single, we gotta remember that 5 robots were able to destroy base Naver, 5 of them. So I think there's also a statement that suggests that they are almost the strength of a demon leader. So I think here is pretty fair. Royal Roach's soldiers, they're above base Titans. I think like 5 or 6 of them can defeat a Titan. And so like if like many of them can defeat a Titan, I think they should be below a Titan. We're talking about them individually, like just one single soldier. Is one single soldier able? Okay, never mind. So like we should be putting the normal soldiers below base Connie. Because since base Connie was able to fight these soldiers and survived, it stems to reason that she was actually able to kill some of them, right? But like if we say like 6 to 7 of them or 8 can. But now that I think about it, guys, okay, like I'm actually very confused. Base Connie, base Zoo, and base Fakashio, they could even be base demon leaders level. And so I think it's very fair to actually not scale them at all. I think this is fair. A lot of things we don't know about these characters. Do they have fair union? With like, was Connie fighting the Royal Roach's soldiers in base or like using fair union? So like many unknowns, I think it's better to just, put them right here. All right, we're gonna continue with the list. We're gonna go now to above heroes, and above heroes uh, is gonna be a very interesting tier. All right, so above heroes, we're gonna start with the one that I have in mind right now. I'm not gonna lie, the Tyrant's Bear. We also have, who do we have also? There's the Iron King. Iron King. Maybe the Tyrant's Bear is Parasite. Just the friend. Okay, friend robot. And then we're gonna have one single other character. There are obviously gonna be another like a lot of characters that we're gonna like place here and here. Like we're gonna go back to the tiering list once we finish it, and then we're gonna have remaining characters. We're gonna start speculating where they should be at. But like we're just gonna go with characters that like we do know where they scale. We finish the tiering list and then go back. I think I'm searching for Rogan. All right, Rogan. All right, we don't know if she was only in base. Yeah, it's the same thing I said. We only know that she fought them. Yo, Satori, welcome to the stream. What tier list site is this? It looks pretty cool. It's Tier Buddy, I guess. Yes, Tier Buddy. It's much better than tier list. He hasn't released this one yet, I think. All right. All right, so above heroes, the I think the normal Tyrant's Bear is obviously above a normal hero. Maybe when using Fairy Union, obviously we're just, speculating and assuming. Maybe like any Fairy Union, like maybe Abyss or Boss can defeat a Tyrant Bear by himself. But for now, the Tyrant's Bear was able to fight three drumming mode control Titans and defeat them easily. And it required 50 lives from Rinri to defeat him. So I think, it's pretty fair to say that the Tyrant's Bear is right here. The Verdant Forest King, although we didn't see a single thing from him, it's still a king. It's still the strong. He's still the strongest animal in the Verdant Forest, right? And so I do believe that at least the strongest animal from the Verdant Forest should be stronger than a normal animal from the Crimson Forest. I wouldn't think that like a normal Tyrant's Bear would be stronger than the strongest of another forest. All right. All right. So after that, we have Rogan. Rogan is pure speculations and assumptions. If we say that Rogan is a captain or a leader of a section of a natural enemy, he's obviously above the other lawless humans. And speaking of the lawless humans, by the way, lawless humans should be on this tier too. We're gonna get back to it. Since he is above normal lawless humans and should be above Hades, I'm speculating that he would be a tier above Hades. That's pure speculations. We didn't see a single thing from Rogan, other than just see him talk and yap about like the parasites and Hades info and experimenting on Ario. All right, so over 10 battle mode friend. I'm talking about the very first one that Joshi one shot. We didn't see even Roya Roach fight against one of these. So like as I said, these are pure speculations too. Like I don't know how strong this one is. We know how strong the Wave 6, Wave 5, or even Wave 4 robot, friend robot is, but this one like we've seen absolutely nothing from him. What did Rogan do? Absolutely nothing. It's pure speculations, brother. All right, first time I'm hearing about it. I had to search it up. I had to just, do something different. Rogan has no feats, but he's like a leader in a Neo city and is Hades' older brother. So the reason I have him here is just because, since he's a leader, he should be above a tier above Hades. Right? Hades was able to destroy a naval robot. That's a very good feat. And I think Rogan should be a tier above it. But there could be other factors, right? It could be that like he's the leader just because he has like in terms of thinking, in terms of being a genius, he's like much better than the others. But like it's, as I said, pure speculations. And now I'm gonna have like a very controversial placement of a character. Um I didn't talk about the Parasite Tyrant's Bear. They did say that the strength of a parasite being heavily depends on the infected. So since the Tyrant's Bear was infected, obviously stronger than the Tyrant's Bear, but like I don't know if I can say that, like, because like the only things we've seen from this Tyrant's Bear is that like it was eating multiple lawless humans, and Rinri and Gore were able to dodge an attack from the Tyrant's Bear. Then after that, we get this whole thing of like the Tyrant's Bear actually consuming one of the lawless humans who has like an insane personality, and then he turned to a super worm, right? So like in terms of feats, the Tyrant's Bear didn't really do a lot of things. The super worm, sure, right? The super worm where like Yao Tzu needed to intervene, that one is strong. But Tyrant's Bear Parasite, like there's nothing to, like we just know it's stronger than the normal Tyrant's Bear. That's it. However, I don't believe that like even when a parasite inhabits a Tyrant's Bear is stronger than the strongest of a forest of a natural enemy. She said that First Unity wasn't worthy of being remembered, something like that. Roya Roach. All right. So even though Roya, as you said that like it's not worth of being remembered, it's still stronger than a naval robot. So like I'll still place it like a tier above all of these guys. I don't see like a I don't see like a hero being able to deal, like on second thoughts, maybe Arya, right? I feel very comfortable with this, to be honest. As I said, it's speculations. Maybe, Arya could defeat over 10 battle mode friend, but I highly doubt it. Alright, so the character that I'm gonna have up like, the strongest in above heroes, and you guys are gonna hate it, is where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Maybe I don't even have him on the list. Okay. Bronze mode Uki, alright? Alright, you guys gotta you guys gotta hear what I'm gonna try, like what I'm gonna say, alright? Bronze mode Uki, right? In normal circumstances, should be a strong character, alright? But this was a desperate attack. A desperate attack. I'm saying this is because when Uki was fighting against Joshi, and Joshi, to, 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 took off his cape, and then, one punched Uki. The first thought Uki had is, I need to run away. Uki didn't think, okay, if I transform more, maybe I'm gonna be defeating Joshi. She didn't think that. I'm assuming Uki is a female, right? That's why I'm saying she. Uki didn't think that even bronze can fight against base Joshi. That's why he was calling Galawa. Like, Galawa, answer me. This guy is dangerous. The demons are actually dangerous. The reason he was trying to run away is because, as simple as it is, even using bronze is not going to defeat Joshi. And so when it was getting defeated and pummeled by Joshi's multiple consecutive punches, it used bronze as a last resort attack. Okay? The reason I believe that bronze is weak, the one that Uki used, obviously like the one that Galloway uses in the future, or even the one that Uki is going to use in the future is going to be stronger, but the one that I'm talking about is actually weak enough that Gimbak said, okay, this is not the type of strength to defeat Gory. Right? So you gotta have in mind that Joshi destroyed the compression body so much that it made Bronze Uki weaker than its base form. And it's all gonna make sense when I start tiering these characters here. And so the bronze mode Uki that we have here is the weakened one. In the future, obviously, this form is going to be relevant, and it's not going to be, you know, on the above heroes tier. Maybe a low tier Demon Lord, or maybe even mid tier Demon Lord. All right, now we're going to go to low tier Demon Lord, and this is where the controversy starts. All right, we're gonna start talking about a lot of characters: the Boxer, the Royal Roach, the Ukis. And a lot of people are going to hate a lot of placements, but at the end of the day, 34 chapters, not a lot of things to go off from, and you know, it is what it is. All right, so low tier Demon Lords. The characters that I'm going to have here are Medallion's mini ship. Oh, not this one. Hold on. I don't think I have the... This is not supposed to be the mini ships, by the way. I think I made a mistake. All right. Don't mind the text here. I'm not talking about Medallion's mini ship. I'm talking about the ship that appeared that Daikokuzan destroyed. And hear me out, okay? This ship can be top tier, can be even high tier Demon Lord, or even top tier. However, the reason I believe that this ship is not shit is because even though the Daikokuzan destroyed this ship easily by walking through it, Poe, who's a part of Gallowa's team, still attacked the Daikokuzan, believing that he can't actually defeat him. So Poe is at least believing that itself is stronger than the ship that Daikokuzan destroyed. However, we've got in chapter 31 that Poe is reckless, doesn't think before it attacks. So it could be the case that Poe is just an idiot. So if you argue that Poe is an idiot, the ship is gonna be top tier or even high tier or even top tier, right? But if you argue that Poe knows how to estimate power, and knowing that the Daikokuzan destroying a ship is not really a big feat, and still thinking that he can't defeat Daikokuzan, then the ship is gonna be right here. All right. All right. So we're gonna continue with the low tier Demon Lords. Are we gonna have base Royal Roach? Or are we gonna have... Where is... Okay. What is base Fraud? Can you guys see base Fraud? All right, base Fraud. The infamous Great Demon King level ship. I think it's Barage's High Demon Lord at least. Based on Kiva believes that the ship is something that would pose a threat to even the Demon King Byakuo, not even Joshi, right? However, you know, it's Kiva who's saying this, and I do not think that Kiva knows the difference between... Not the difference, the gap between him and Joshi, let alone the gap between Joshi and the Demon King. Presumably it's big. So as I said, you know, it all depends on what you think about Poe. Like if Poe is stupid or not. If Poe is not is actually stupid, the ship is gonna be top tier. For now, we're just gonna go with we don't know, but then after we're gonna add it to the list. Just to not confuse you guys. So we have base Boxer and Royal Roach. Who do we have after? Base Nahayalo is actually here. Forgot to talk about him. He is as strong as a base Demon Lord. Okay. We're gonna have Fury Watcher here. Right? Fury Watcher, obviously, relative to base Boxer. The chapter we've got 34 literally confirmed that. The Boxer literally said, yo, this animal is actually as strong as me, and he had to use his burst to actually contend. I trust Kiva to not talk about the Great Demon King lightly. Base Boxer. Yes. All right, we're gonna have base Berserk here, and a lot of people are gonna hate it, but we're gonna talk about why. It's like the reason is actually silly, but like I think it's worth putting him there. We're gonna have base Pao Pao, base Ninya, base Uki, and base Galua. We're still not ranking them, by the way. Who else do we have? Burst form Roya Roach, released Roya Roach. Where is okay? Fraud Burst, Super Worm, Giloge, Bawon. Alright, my bad. Wave Friend. I think I need the Ganazal. Alright, base the Ganazal. Okay, I think for now it's looking good. Alright, so hear me out. So in terms of Boxer, and Fury Watcher, we know that these are relative, as I said, right? Base Roya Roach. What do we know about Base Roya Roach? She was able to destroy two waves of friend robots, right? And friend robot was at least like in terms of speed. I wouldn't say in terms of speed. In terms of strength and durability, the friend robot was still below Roya Roach because the friend robot needed to deploy other strategies, kind of like do feints, use bombs in the area to actually compete with Roya Roach. And Roya Roach, when she used the uh, released form, she was able to blitz that robot easily, right? When it comes to base Pal, base Ninya, base Uki, and base Galua, the reason, like all of these like Madarans, the reason I have them only under one tier, right, is because Bawan stated that they have no class, no rank. So maybe they are equal in terms of how strong their compression body is, but like they only differ when it comes to how they approach a fight. We know that Uki doesn't hold back. She did say that, or it did say that. Galua holds back. Pao attacks without thinking, right? And we don't know about the others. So I think they all differ in how to approach a fight, but they are as like they're all equal. Okay. Burst Boxer is obviously above the Boxer, and Burst Roya, I would put her here. Now we're gonna start ranking these characters, all right? Bro, the Medallion ship is mid Demon Lord tier. The Mothership is top tier. Even against the last units, it sent the clones and hid to attack PR after she was exhausted. Yes. Give me a second, guys. I'm just gonna go grab some water. All right, we're back. Okay, let me read the chat. The infamous Great Demon. All right, base boxer, just Kiva. What about Gory and Berser? We're gonna have them there. Bro, the medallion ship is mid. All right, we've read that. These names sound like Abby's father. All right, friend robot fought smart. Even against the last unit, it sends the clones and hit to, yeah. All right, just give me 1 second, guys. Just 1 second. All right, we're gonna continue. My bad. I had to do a lot of things. Okay, so we're gonna have Cloza here too. Gory, Picasio, Superworm. Who else do we have? Balzeric, we're gonna talk about that. Base Joshi. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. All right, do we think this is it? Okay, so right off the bat, the strongest of this category, I would say, is base Joshi, and we're gonna talk about why, all right? Base Joshi, I would think, is actually stronger than Burst Royal Roach. You can't argue that Burst Royal Roach is stronger because base Joshi, in terms of speed, even release Royal Roach could be faster than him because release Royal Roach was able to blitz the same robot Joshi fought against, and when Joshi tried to punch him, that robot was able to dodge him, right? Like Joshi was standing his ground, the robot tried everything it can, and because Joshi has insane durability, nothing happened to him. So in terms of strength and durability, you can't argue that Joshi is above Royal Roach in release or even burst, because burst at the end of the day is just making multiple clones of her. Nothing indicates that she grows in terms of strength. It's just a like she makes different other different other clones of herself. So that's why, like I said, base Joshi and release Royal Roach, it's fine if you interchange both. Like I wouldn't really argue with it. And then just below Burst Royal Roach, I will have Wave 6 Friend. Now, the reason I still have Wave 6 Friend above Burst Form Royal Roach, even though we've seen that the friend actually defeated Royal Roach, is because you gotta remember that Royal Roach was depleted from the multiple fights it had to fight, right? Before the Wave 6 friend arrived, Burst Royal Form, Burst Royal Roach was fighting against an army of Wave 5 robots, right? And she was insanely depleted. And that's how Wave 6 friend was able to defeat her, kind of like made her deplete her mana more and more to the point where she cannot fend off a strong attack with her durability. She doesn't have mana anymore. Under normal circumstances, she's not depleted. She's still, 100%. And Wave 6 friend comes to fight her. Wave 6 friend is still gonna lose. It just, the strategy was insane, like from start to finish. The latest friend tanked Nudo Magic Beam. There is this one statement too that suggests that Royal Roach could do the same thing, by the way. But the reason, as I said, the reason Wave 6, it is interchangeable at the end of the day. I'm not gonna, argue that like it's hands down Royal Roach stronger than Wave 6 friend. But like the way the friend defeated her was not fair. That's what I mean. Like imagine fighting for like, I don't know how much time, depleting your energy, believing that you actually won, and then, the Wave 6 friend appears with another wave. So yeah, like if you guys want to interchange these, it's fine. Like I don't really hate it. So below the Wave 6 friend, we have Royal Roach. Royal Roach released form prior, was able to blitz the previous wave easily and destroyed it, like kind of like Kenshiro style, the Omae wa mou shinderu, right? But like, I don't think it's a surprise for Release Roya to be here. After that, I would have the medallions, and let me tell you why. Hold on. So all of these, I judge them based on Uki's performance against Joshi. So Uki in base was able to fight Joshi like head on, right? But when Joshi wanted to be serious, even in his suppressed form, he was able to crack Uki and contend with Uki easily in terms of speed or, anything else. Like he was relative to Uki. And since Uki was relative to Joshi, you can't argue that Uki should be placed here. However, Roya Roach is still fast enough. If we're saying that Roya Roach is actually faster than suppressed Joshi with his cape on, then base Uki is not going to be able to contend with Roya Roach. However, I wouldn't be confident to say that Roya Roach would have the attack potency or the strength to actually damage Uki. Uki was damaged by an uppercut from Joshi, right? But we don't know if, in terms of strength, Royal Roach is up there with base or suppressed Joshi. I don't think it's the case. Because like, if you guys remember that Wave robot or like the robot before Wave 6 was able to actually, harm Royal Roach. So even though like obviously the robots attacked a weak spot, a weak joint in order to perform that feat, but at the end of the day, he or it surpassed her durability, bypassed there like easily. And base Joshi, while standing up, the robot couldn't do a single thing, tried multiple attacks. So like in terms of strength, obviously base Joshi is strong, and therefore Uki being able to match him in strength necessitate that Uki should be above Royal Roach. However, it's a matchup thing at the end of the day. These guys, most of them are matchup merchants. Uki could be stronger than Royal Roach, but Royal Roach could be faster than Uki, and then therefore it might be a stalemate until Uki uses a space plate. So, like placing Uki above these guys or below these guys is fine by me. Let me read some chat. Get that bomb Bozuk out of there. Okay, I'm gonna have a very controversial take. You're gonna hate it, alright? The latest friend tanked Nudo Magic Beam. We talked about that. She also destroyed a Wave 5 friend. Exactly. We see its pieces on the ground. Okay, I never actually caught that, to be honest. Yeah, so as I said, if you have base Uki above these guys, it's fine. But I'm gonna have him, like, I'm gonna have it here. And if Uki is here and I believe all of these guys are equal in strength, they're obviously gonna just take the space with him. All right, the next character that we're gonna have is you guys are gonna hate on this, all right? Okay, so listen. I would be putting Berserk here. No, no, no. Obviously, that's not gonna be the case. Please don't put Berserk above Suppressed Joshi. Nah, I'd never do that. I will never be delusional enough to do that. So listen, Berserk is obviously a statement merchant for now. Like we do not know a single thing about him. He only defeated Colosa, and Colosa could be like a super weak demon lord, right? Even weaker than Fraud. And this is, pure speculations and assumptions. I would not have Berserk above the Madara people or, Roya's released or burst form or base Joshi. But this is where I'm comfortable with his placement. Like the remaining characters, I wouldn't be surprised if he can defeat them. That's what I mean. But like I would be surprised if he can defeat these guys. All right, we're gonna continue with this, and since we have Berserk here, we're gonna have Gigatilla here. And I know, it's kind of like it's a nasty idea to have Gigatilla here, and even like listen, I'm not saying base Gigatilla is here. I'm talking about him in general, like assuming that he can use the red pill thing. And it seems like it's like the story is kind of implying that like they are the two like strongest combatants of their groups. The others kind of like they seem like a support support characters in their team, but like these two are the combatants. And I would believe that Gigatilla and Berserk they kind of operate on like on the same level or like a similar level, similar to Pakia and Hallow. Pakia and Hallow, Pakia is still like relative to Hallow, even though Hallow is stronger than him. So like I believe it's the case with these two too. Like I think Berserk is stronger than Gigatilla, but Gigatilla is relative to Berserk. Nudo stated that Berserk would be good pawn. That means he actually killed Cloza without any bullshit. Nudo spies on other demon lords. Other heroes got lab ratted, brainwashed. After all, Berserk might easily be possessed or controlled. Keep in mind. True, true. All right, so these two, as I said, they're controversial placements, and if you guys don't agree with them, and you guys think that these two may actually be frauds, you know, frauds in the sense where they actually didn't defeat a demon lord by normal means, it's fine. It is what it is. Okay, the music is kind of tripping me out. All right, so who do we have after? Like the character that I would have after is Burst Boxer Boxer, because like I do believe that Burst Boxer Boxer should be stronger than the remaining characters. Burst Boxer Boxer is confident he can take down Fury Watcher, and to be honest, the Boxer Boxer Demon Lord, he only scales to a character that only scales to him. Like he only scales to the Fury Watcher, and Fury Watcher only scales to the Boxer Boxer. Maybe the next chapter we're gonna get more feats from Fury Watcher to understand how strong Boxer Boxer is, right? But like being defeated by uh Gimbak doesn't mean you're weak, and being defeated by Gimbak doesn't give us anything to scale him off of. You got what I mean? We only know that his base form is equal to Fury Watcher, and that's it. Okay, hold on. Give me a second, guys. I'll be back. All right, we back. So yes, um, what do we have um after Burst Boxer Boxer? All right, so the character that we're gonna have next, I feel like should be base Roya Roach. I think Roya Roach should be like in base stronger than base Boxer Boxer. Like she was able to take down two friend units or three, and I don't know if I should be saying that base Boxer Boxer could be doing could be doing the same things too. Uh, Nudo also said that like he grew fond of Roya Roach, and maybe that's a strength thing. And Boxer Boxer is not really respected by anybody from the 10 demons we've seen. Like they think he's not a fraud. He's a bum. Fury Watcher could have more moves. Yeah. So yeah, like I'm confident with this. So base Berser, I would say, him and Fury Watcher are interchangeable simply because base Berser was actually able to take a hit from Gimbak and survive it. I don't know if I could say that Fury Watcher or Boxer Boxer in base can take a hit from Gimbak. It's kind of like, we need to see more from base Berser. And Fury Watcher is also seen in the previous chapter to be always next to Berser, so maybe like Fury Watcher knows that Berser is stronger than him, and that's why like he's always next to him. It's a far-fetched idea, but like it kind of like partially explains why base Berser is here. You guys hate it? That is 1 HP, bros. Uki. Bronze Uki should be low tier demon. Yeah, I'm not talking about like the full like 100% HP transformation. I'm talking about like the one that the desperate move that it used against Jaji. Like obviously it's not that strong. Like I would put Gori above it because like Gimbak did say, yo, that's not this like no, that's not it. And then like Gimbak looked at Joshi and said, yo, are you the one who defeated Gori? So like Gimbak is saying that that's not the strength required to defeat Gori. That's at least what my interpretation from what happened. The one after getting screwed by Joshi. End of series Berserk going to be a complete menace. I trust it, bro. I trust it. I want it to be the case. All right, we're gonna continue the list. After that, I think I'm pretty confident with having Gori just next to Berserk. Because a lot of people are sleeping on Gori. I believe that Gori, again, we're not talking about base Gori. I'm talking about Gori like as a whole, right? I think Gori being defeated by base Joshi made a lot of people underestimate him. Gori, drumming mode Gori should be like very, very strong since he is a son of Gimbak. I would believe he is a low tier demon lord. Uh, I'm always, thinking about Gori from the sentence Gimbak said about, Bronze Uki. He said, Bronze Uki is not it. This is not the one that defeated Gori, so it must have been Joshi. Specifically for that statement, I do believe that Gori is actually stronger than we think. Should be comparable to his brother. It's a hot take, I know, but like I cannot place him anywhere below. I don't believe these guys can like win against Gori, not in base, like Gori, drumming mode Gori in general. He just met an unfortunate opponent, and it if it's turns out that Joshi is actually the strongest demon lord, that doesn't take away anything from Gori. Like Gori being defeated by somebody who's actually a top tier doesn't mean he's weak. End of series Berserk. All right, what if the Titans learn magic by eating the flesh of demon lords, like absorbing the mana? Maybe that's the case. Never heard someone care so much for Gori. I don't care so much for Gori. I just care about like people sleeping on characters that shouldn't be slept on because like listen, at the end of the day, I did say that Boxer is a bum, and I only said it as I explained in the streams because he knew that he shouldn't be fighting against Gimbak. But then all of the sudden, when the 10 demon lords joined, he like gathered that courage. Like now I can actually fight against Gimbak. That's a fraudulent behavior, bro. Like out of nowhere, you're just gonna be able to fight somebody on that level that you're gonna lose to just because the others are with you. But if you think about it, the boxer lost to take Gimbak doesn't mean he's weak. We just believe he is weak because he's weaker than the other 10 demon lords. But the 10 demon lords could be top tiers, could be Joshi level, and just being weaker than them doesn't mean you're like weak on a grand schemes of things, on the grand scheme of things. Like I've seen people argue Kiva versus Boxer, bro. Like what are we doing here, bro? Like, come on. I don't think Gori should be on the same tier as Joshi or even Uki. He failed to do any damage and then got one shot. Yeah, but then who said that Joshi cannot one shot base Boxer or cannot one shot base Royal Roach or cannot one shot base Berserk? You got what I mean? Base the Ganazal, for example, I believe that like she's really weak in comparison to everybody else. She did absolutely nothing. Like as soon as she's seen Gimbak, she used her burst form. It doesn't mean that she is like weak, but like we didn't see anything from her, and therefore like I think this is the best place we should put her at. Like her and Closa should be like relative to each other. So when it comes to Pikachu, right? Pikachu is a very weird case. Pikachu took a slap from Gimbak. He died from it, but he didn't explode. These generals exploded from a slap from Gimbak. This guy didn't explode. That's the only feat that he has. A lot of people tend to rank him a lot higher because he has the blood of the Ganazal, and him being a hero plus the blood of the Ganazal plus other stuff maybe like boosted him enough to actually fight like really strong demon lords. But like I don't believe that that's the case. However, he does have this one speed feat where Berzer is surprised by it. He said, "Yo, father, he hit you in super speed." In the Japanese version, there is actually a question mark to his statement, indicating that he's asking Gimbak rather than telling him. Just like because like in the English version, it looks like he told him, but like in the Japanese version, he's asking Gimbak, "Yo, like did he hit you in super speed?" Meaning, base Berzer couldn't react to Ficagio's speed. All right. However, I would argue that base Berzer took the same level of hits Gimbak gave to Ficagio, like and survived. If that makes sense. So you can argue that like they are interchangeable, because maybe Ficagio is better in terms of speed, and then he uses his Fairy Union, which means maybe it buffed his speed even further. But like in terms of strength, he's not on his level. So like interchangeable is fine for me. Like from here to here, it's fine for me. Gory tier, Abyss tier. Name a tier named Gory between. I mean, I think it's pretty fair. Just being on the same tier, by the way, doesn't mean that you don't lose miserably to the top tiers of the same tier, right? Think of it as like demon level monsters, dragon level monsters, tiger level monsters. There are some demons that would straight up one shot other demons. There are some tigers that would straight up one shot other tigers. There are some dragons who would. We've seen it, by the way. Goketsu and what's the name of that bum? Uh, I completely forgot his name. Bakuzan. Yeah, exactly. So Bakuzan could have been one-shotted by Goketsu. So like, I think like being on the same tier doesn't mean like you can fight the guy. Like maybe you can get one shot by him. But like I would reckon that all of these guys till Bawan, right, they can fight base Joshi. Alright, now we're gonna go to Super Worm. I don't know if okay, so Super Worm, the one that got destroyed by Yaotsu. I don't know if I could say that this one could fight any of these guys. To be perfectly honest, this character seemed strong because it was bullying human level characters, right? And it's obviously above the Tyrant's Bear or the normal Tyrant's Bear because Rinri didn't even start to think, yo, I'm gonna use the soul container again. I think he used it one time and it did absolutely nothing, and then just understood that this character is actually that strong. But what I'm trying to say here is these guys are here just based on vibes, and I do believe they're stronger than these guys. But like I don't know, there's nothing ever to indicate how strong they are in comparison to everybody else. Like there is no comparison at all. Nothing. So like I would say that's the super worm from the Crimson Forest, the one who absorbed the Iron King and a lot of animals would be stronger than this, because this one only absorbed the Tyrant's Bear and a bunch of other humans, and that's it. So this one should be like many times stronger. However, like I wouldn't really like know for sure where to place it or place him. With the super worm, I factor in the fact that if any of it remotely bleeds on you, you're just dead. Yeah, but like in terms of speed and all, like that's what I mean. Like I don't remember if a Gore and Rinri actually like managed to dodge the Tyrant's Bear parasite or when it became the super worms. Because like if they were able to dodge the super worm, then like when it comes to speed, they're kind of lacking. So yeah, like I don't know where to place them, but like I would be putting them low tier demon level. Right? The reason, you know, Cloza is here and the Ganazal are here, they are featless. We do not know a single thing about them. You can argue we should be putting them here, right? But they're like, if we put them in the we don't know section, then Berserk and Gigatilla, like, at least Berserk would be there. Gigatilla, we know that Gigatilla is actually stronger than Aloe, so like it's fine if we put him here. All right, so now we're gonna go to the mid tier, and the mid tier is actually pretty easy, and it highly depends on speculations, to be honest. The mid tier is we're gonna have every single demon from the what's the name of that team? The 10 demons that they're trying to fight the get back. So I believe for now that all of them are mid tier demons. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We need just one. Am I tripping? Where's the 10th one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Jakuja, there you go. Yeah, the demon corpse. I don't think someone like Roach could deal with it without being overrun by the parasite. But the parasite is perhaps technically weaker. Yeah, like listen, in terms of stats, like strength and speed, I do believe that these guys can deal with it. Especially the Medarans, right? I don't think the Medarans can be inhabited by a parasite. So like I think they can deal with these pretty easily. But the others, demons, or maybe even Fury Watcher, maybe Fury Watcher is gonna be consumed by Superworm. Like it's I think, you know, I think it's fair to say that maybe maybe we can put him here, right? But again, as I said, putting him here, 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 or here, or here, it doesn't matter because we don't have enough info. Okay, so we're gonna have base Joshi no cape in the mid tier section. And then we also gonna have what is Space Plate? Space Plate Uki, right? And lastly but not least, we're gonna have Burst Jakuja. So here's the thing, guys. We absolutely know nothing about these characters. We know that Jahivi has this ability that makes him petrify other, like his opponents, turning them into stone, but that's it. Gani is talking shit most of the times, you know, saying that the others are weak, so maybe he's a top tier. Vuvu is treating it casually, and most characters that roll that way, they're kind of like they would be strong. And the others, we do not know a single thing about, but we know for sure that somebody like Nudo should be stronger than Roya Roach, because Nudo is just a bunch of I didn't say lasers, beams from his finger, was able to destroy like a huge part of a wave. I think if not even an entire wave. So like if he can do that casually and Roya Roach is struggling with them, he's obviously above Roya Roach, even in base. I don't know if these guys, all of them, they would be above base Jashi, but like for now, we're saying they are, right? The reason I have Burst Jakuja still below a base no quote or no cape Jashi is because Burst Jakuja, I don't think it's a fighting type of burst. It's just like it's just to a support kind of burst, right? Just to help her team or like his teammates. So like, you know, in terms of boost, it's not really that, you know, it's not, I don't think it's like effective in like a 1v1 fight. Burst form Diganazal, we're gonna get to that. By the way, guys, when we're saying these guys are all in base, okay? I'm not talking about them in burst form. And I do not believe like these guys in base would be stronger than a burst form Diganazal. Like Diganazal is gonna be like high tier demon lord, and we're gonna get to why, okay? Like it's a controversial take, but like just bear with me for a second. Okay, so the reason I have base no code Joshi above these guys is just simply for the statement. I think Nudo tells Jahivi, yo, like you gotta be careful. Gimbak is a character that took a punch from Joshi, and they're like, impressive. So it does imply that these guys actually respect Joshi's strength. I don't know if Joshi is in base is stronger than all of them for sure, but this is the assumption that we have now. I think everybody are believing that Joshi is stronger. But like if it turns out it's not the case, it is what it is. Like it's not something that would surprise me. Spaceplate Uki right here is obvious. Like, Spaceplate Uki was able to overwhelm Joshi, and Joshi needed to remove his cape in order to fight Uki. Uki being above Joshi is also like kind of stingy, is because yes, she was or it was able to overwhelm Joshi. However, it's not like Cape Joshi was harmed or was injured or anything. The only thing that he couldn't deal with is the gravitational pull. That's all. So like you can't say that Uki should belong here, like interchangeable with base Joshi. Like I don't have any problem with that. Right? And so if we say that these guys, right, they're relative to base no Cape Joshi, they're obviously stronger than Spaceplate Uki. Let me read. Yeah, Nudo is probably gonna be a top tier demon lord by the time we see everything he has. Burst Diganazan on mid tier. We're gonna talk about it in a second. I'm afraid our Jakuja is gonna be the main target right now for Gimbak and the other giants because of that cube. I agree. Burst Joshi plus Jakuja burst buff would be crazy. It would be insane. True. All right. I don't think Ginbak is smart enough to target Jakuja. He's just gonna attack the closest target. I don't think he's gonna attack Jakuja simply because of the ability. I think he will see that Jakuja is just like a. He would be able to deduce that Jakuja is a target that is not moving. It's immobile, maybe, and like seeing the other characters like protecting Jakuja, he would like it would prompt him to go attack him simply because of that. Because like, oh, you're protecting this demon, I'm gonna kill him first. Now, mid-tier demon lord Uki. All right, Uki's best feat is making Joshi excited. All right, so as I said, putting Uki mid or the strongest low tier demon, like I don't have any problem with it. So let's just put Spaceplate Uki here. And the reason these guys are above Spaceplate Uki is because we're assuming they are, relative in strength with base node code Joshi. Yeah, so I think these would be the mid demons. And the high tier demons that we have would be Release Joshi and Burst Form Diganazal. And listen, guys, I know a lot of people are hating on Diganazal, and you can't argue that these guys, when the Demon King handpicked them, obviously he's handpicking characters who are stronger than somebody who was already defeated by the target, who's game back. I get it. I would say that release Kanigani, release Vuvu, release Nudo, or Burst, these guys would be stronger than the Ganazan. I have absolutely no problem with it, right? But we're talking burst mode. Do we believe that base Joshi is stronger than burst from the Ganazal, or base these bombs are stronger than the Ganazal? It is a, it is a, it is like something, a matchup worth talking about. And a lot of people substantiate that, say that like the Ganazan maybe is weaker than base no code Joshi, because Gimbak has said that, yo, like the last person that I fought is actually better. And he only encountered with Joshi when Joshi was in base. When he used release, like Gimbak didn't feel, didn't like know exactly how strong release Joshi is. So he's strictly talking about base no codes Joshi. However, Gimbak, as I said, the reason he's bored by the Ganazal, but he actually likes to fight Joshi, is because Joshi is a brawler just like him. They love to test strength. They, this is the traditional way the Titans fight. think it's unfair to say that Burst Diganazal is straight up below Joshi just simply because of that statement. However, I wouldn't hate it. If you guys want to put Diganazal, Burst Form Diganazal right here, and remember, Burst Form Diganazal had an exchange with an exchange of strength with Gimbak, right? And these guys, if any of them tries to like have an exchange with Gimbak and fails and dies on the spot, they would be weaker than Burst Form Diganazal because Diganazal at least was able to have an exchange with Gimbak. All right, let me. Berser would probably hold on. All right, if I didn't already see it, I wouldn't think Yudo could teleport Gimbak due to his immense immunity to hacks. Well, that's actually true. He was able to do that. I bet Gimbak won't even realize he's getting nerfed. Alright, Berser will probably tell Gimbak about Jakuja. Personally, I think current Halo is far stronger than Two Arms Halo. Nothing suggests that, but like if it happens again, I wouldn't be surprised. Versus so underrated. Can't wait for the future Yaotsu versus God video. Yeah, I would love to do that. Yo, the Ganazal hype. Watch Berser take care of Jakuja. That would be crazy. Respect. Yes, for now, the tier list is perfect. The Ganazal is equal or weaker than Ugi. I don't know. Okay, shouldn't be too far off, yeah, but putting Burst Ganazal in high tier demons kind of feels wrong. She ain't feeling like a high tier to be. I get it. She might as well be the top mid tier, alright? The Ganazal hinted that she can deal with Joshi when she pointed that Joshi and Gimbak were the same. She hinted that too, by the way. Oh, yeah, you're talking about the Ganazal. My bad. I trust her word on this, to be honest. I mean, sure. Anyone else would have been in the weeds with all the leeches and poisons plus strength to clash with Gimbak. Failing against Gimbak doesn't mean failing against Joshi. Exactly. So listen, guys. I think, you know, this placement of the Ganazal would be proven to be right or wrong literally the next chapter. And we get to why. Hold on, just give me a second. Yo, like I hate ads. So like if we go to the chapter where she fought against Gimbak, right? Hold on. I think 21. Oh. Being able to clash with Gimbak like this, hold on. This is very impressive, by the way. Right? This is still very impressive. And then we have, oh, and like here she hints that like she can deal with power types like Joshi. Like Joshi, you're a pure power type in that case. I like she tries other stuff. She has a lot of things up her sleeve. And then you can see that Berser is even afraid, not afraid, worried about his father. It's like, father. However, I do know that like Berser is not really like I don't think Berser knows how strong his father is. Like he always asks him, "Yo, are you unharmed? Are you like?" He doesn't understand how strong he is. But like this one, you know, using these maggots, infecting them with maggots and all, like do we believe that Joshi can get rid of these maggots the same way Gimbak did? Not really the same way, but like, can he do it in the first place? So yes, Nudo did say that it was one-sided from start to finish, and it's not like she did anything against Gimbak. However, her performance is actually pretty good. She's still, you know, she's still doing good. And the reason Gimbak didn't like was bored, as I said, is because you know she's not a brawler like him, so she's gonna sleep in the middle of the fight. So I think you know that performance is actually pretty good. So I would be okay if you guys would think that she is top mid tier Demon Lord or like interchangeable with Joshi based on that statement. If you guys think that the narrator like not the narrator, the author put that statement on purpose to let us know that you know base Joshi is above burst form Diganazan, and we're just hyper analyzing it. But for now, like I do feel like she is below release Joshi. I think you know she can contend with base Joshi. She has the tools to do that, but against release, she's not gonna survive. Failing against Gimbak doesn't mean failing against Joshi. Yeah, but after D-God did a ton of attacks though, Gimbak, he fell asleep and called it a massage. Yeah, because he's Gimbak doesn't mean they wouldn't work on Joshi. Berserk would be afraid if Gimbak fought the Lawless. Gimbak is different level. True, imagine childhood with Gimbak as your father. Yes, interchangeable. Yeah, as I said, it's interchangeable. But like, don't sleep on what D-God Nazal did. We're gonna get a clear comparison in the next chapter. We're gonna see how they're gonna interact with Gimbak, and granted that Gimbak would be nerfed, would be weaker than the Gimbak of Adigan Azal. And as I said, it would be fitting to put her right here because these guys are still in base. So I believe maybe in release or burst they would be stronger than the Ganazon. But like I wouldn't call them like I wouldn't say them being in base they're stronger than burst form the Ganazal. I think that's being way too not fair. All right, so the top tiers are pretty self-explanatory, right? So the potential strongest of all, the one that we all estimate or assume that it would be the strongest is Yaozu, right? Yaozu has insane hacks. He can domain expansion you. He can he can revive the dead. He can put his face on the sky. He can create anything. And then he said this covers but the tip of my powers. Like this is nothing. So, it's looking like Yaozu would be the strongest. The only character that I would feel like can contend with him would be the Demon King, simply because he's too mysterious. He's still not shown. He's the main strongest of the main natural enemy of the main character. You get what I mean? So maybe he's the only one who would be able to compete with Yaozu. The characters that I would be putting on the second tier, characters that can't compete with those, but like those two are still stronger than them. I would put Gimbak here, I would put Daikokuzan here, and I would be putting the World Tree here. Even though the World Tree isn't really a fighting character, but I would still believe that like the only characters that can deal with the World Tree are these four. So here's the thing. When it comes to their placements, I do believe that Daikokuzan would be stronger than Gimbak. Even drumming mode Gimbak. Because at the end of the day, Daikokuzan is one single character of a natural enemy. You get what I mean? Like, he is the natural enemy. There are no other subordinates or other characters that follows him. And by that logic, you might say, yo, Yasin, you should put him above Byakuo, because Byakuo is just like Gimbak in terms of like, he's not really the natural enemy. Like, there are other characters. But the reason I have Byakuo here is just because I've followed many manga to tell that, like, the way they're making Byakuo this mysterious character and the way they're glazing him and talking about him, it seems like he is a top tier character. It seems like I don't think like Gimbak is gonna be able to defeat Byakuo. As much as I love Gimbak is my favorite character. I don't think he's gonna be able to contend with Byakuo. So the World Tree, it's interchangeable. I believe the only characters that would be able to walk through it normally would be Daikokuzan, Gimbak, Byakuo, and Yaozu. But I do believe that Gimbak is going to be a little bit affected. Daikokuzan, not so much. Maybe Daikokuzan is the one who's going to defeat the World Tree, being, the same size. Like, not the same size, but like relative in size. But I do believe that Byakuo and Yaozu wouldn't even be affected at all because they have that much energy. Obviously, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all of these are speculations and assumptions. Not speaking, not saying, all of these are confirmed. All right, let me read the chat. Gimbak called her attacks a massage. Okay, we've read that. Wait, very true. All feats coming are from nerfed Gimbak. Yeah, depending how much of a nerf it is. We would know how much of a nerf it is if we have to, or like in the future, see how strong Nudo is, and compare it to the nerf he got from Jakuja. And say, that would be not the nerf, the buff he got from Jakuja, and then that multiplier we would apply it also on the nerf. Okay, for me, Uki Shinra mode is at least equal for quality of feats. Equal to whom, though? And Demon Lords are buffed too, alright? And Hacks, it's nerfed Gimbak and buffed Demon Lords. Exactly, yes. So the situation will be harder to scale. The one above all for now. Okay, both those two get negged by the Cursed Tree game. Could be the case. Zabi above Yaotsu, I subscribe to that. Gimbak versus Daikokuzan is an extreme difficult for either way. Like, the promo we've seen back in, like, I think last year, does show the Titans versus Daikokuzan. So maybe we're gonna get Gimbak versus Daikokuzan. Doesn't Daiko has World Tree roots on his back? It looked that way, but like I don't know. I don't know if it's something that would matter against the World Tree. Equal with the Ganazal. Equal with the Ganazal Uki. I don't know, bro. Listen, I wouldn't hate it to have Uki above these guys. I'm not gonna lie, like, because at the end of the day, these guys, we don't know how strong they are. Maybe Space Plate is actually stronger than them. And remember that the Medallons has made the demons a natural, a danger natural enemy, a threat to them, because the Space Plate Uki was destroyed uh, by Jashi. So just because of Joshi, they do not know that there are like 46 other demon lords. They only think that Joshi is the strongest of them all. And because of Joshi alone, they're saying, yo, like the demons are a threat. So this kind of like implies that Joshi is stronger than all of them. And if Joshi is the strongest demon lord, Uki being defeated by Joshi doesn't mean that Uki is weaker than these guys. You got what I mean? But like for now, this is what I would be putting Uki, Space Plate Uki. Some people have, I've seen tier list where like they put Fakashio above Space Plate Uki. Reasons being is because when Gimbak one-shots Uki, Bronze Mode Uki, they think that Bronze Mode Uki in terms of durability is stronger than Space Plate Uki. And the same Gimbak slapped Fakashio and Fakashio didn't get destroyed. And that's why they have Fakashio above Uki. But I think the safest answer is that Bronze Mode Uki was insanely weakened. Okay, which was causing trouble in their ship. Okay, just remember that the Medallons captured the Demon Lord. Exactly. Medallons deserves better. I agree. For me, is Joshi without cape above the Ganazal burst? Nah, there's no way. I would never have Joshi. Oh no, you said without cape. Never mind. My reading comprehension right now is just bad. Okay, putting Shin Uki above their base form sounds about right. And in the next chapter or two, we can argue their burst forms. They called Galua for backup. Yeah, so as I said, it's like I'm fine with this. However, like for now, I'll just put him because like I believe that these guys. Not I believe, I speculate, I assume that these guys would be relative to base no code Joshi. That's why like I have them above Space Plate Uki. But this one I don't hate. This one I do not hate. And even this one, hold on, I do not hate. But for now, this is my speculation. I think the tier list has concluded, but we still have these characters that we're just gonna place them in multiple of these categories. So, what do we think about Mother Colossal Cruiser? Like, I don't believe that the Cruiser is gonna be like a top tier, right? But I do believe that it could be like a high tier Demon Lord. I don't believe that, like, for example, like I don't believe that like these guys can destroy the Colossal Cruiser, but like maybe burst Joshi in the future. So like it could be here or here. Like I don't mind. They called Galua for backup. Joshi has more aura than them. Exactly. Maybe is a Demon Lord more stronger than Joshi? Maybe. It would be crazy. All right. Listen, there would be a demon lord maybe in the future who would be stronger than Joshi, but like I would hate it if there are a bunch of them who are stronger than Joshi. Like if there's one or two and Joshi is still a top tier, it's still a competition, it's fine. It's kind of like Demon Slayer with Akaza. Akaza is still insanely strong, but he's number three. You know, like below. Don't remember the second one than the first one, Kakishibo, I guess. So like, I don't hate it to be top three, but like if there are a lot of characters who are stronger than Joshi, like I just nah, like I wouldn't like it. All right, so the Crimson Forest, a lot of people said like they should be um, above base humans, specifically for the statement of Boxer saying that like he can defeat normal like heroes, like three or two attacks he can destroy a normal hero. So like it indicates that these Crimson Force are actually stronger. So like where do we put them? Above Abyss, above Pulse, above Ario? Like I don't think so. I don't think that these wolves are gonna compete with Fairy Union Ario. Like that's I just don't see it happening. I don't see like uh the demon leaders also losing to them. So like the best place I would be giving them is right here. All right, so the robot tortoise should be stronger than normal robots, and I don't believe that these guys can go through the normal robot tortoise. So most of these characters are just gonna be based on speculations, by the way. Like we don't know a lot of info. Joshi was able to walk through these normally, being able to tank them. And so like I don't believe any of these guys can tank this robot tortoise. Um, but would be below the over battle friend. So like I think this is a proper placement. This or this. Yeah. All right. Okay, so the Gaia's rat bird, the rat level the Naver gave them is 4. 4 would be below Burst Form Shinso, Kiva, Bikoku, and Oppo because there is 6, you know? And it was until a level 6 appeared that Naver, released its limiter. So obviously it's not going to be above limiter release Naver. I don't know about, drumming mode Titans, but like I would be placing Bird just, just relative to release Kiva, because like I do believe that release Kiva is around 4 to 5, right? Equal with the general's base form, robot turtles equal or less stronger with Naver. The Naver. So if we say they are right here, you think all of these characters can survive the tortoise? I'm actually talking about the tortoise like as an army, right? Because I shouldn't be thinking about them as an army. Like I should be thinking about them as like one robot. So like one robot, I reckon these guys like maybe not Heidi, but like I reckon these guys can deal with them. All right, so manipulated titans wouldn't be that far off from normal titans. Like they're literally the same. So they're just controlled now. So like since they are controlled, I would be putting them above base titans. Okay, normal neo humans is they're very tricky to be honest. They're all about quantity over quality, right? One neo human was able to blitz a titan and injure him, but like I don't believe that one neo human can destroy it like a titan by himself. We've seen that multiple of them were required to defeat in base titan. And so like when I say normal humans, I'm saying like one single normal human, by the way, guys. Like I'm not saying like them as an army. So like I wouldn't hate it if like I put them just, around these tiers. All right, so the Gaia's Rat Serpent is below the Gaia's Rat Bird. We've seen that the bird was able to take care of it easily. And so like I don't know exactly where to put it. Like I think it's fine to just with the Titans, I guess. Verdant Forest Owl, Omen Owl. I have absolutely no idea where to put this one. This one was destroyed by multiple soul containers. So like I don't know. Okay, so Word Essence Zabi. So Word Essence Zabi, when he used that barrier, he was able to fend off an attack that was redirected by Galua from Kiva. Kiva literally used a roar attack. I think it's his strongest attack. And Word Essence Zabi was able to block it one single time and he was depleted. So it doesn't mean that he is on Burst Kiva's level with that boost. Because like he was able to only block it one time. But like I reckon he would be like around here. Like around base or whatever. Like he can actually contend with them for a little bit. So yeah, like I don't know, like we're just gonna put him here. Alright, bronze mode Galua. I would be putting bronze mode Galua just right there with Uki. Okay, hold on. The reason I'm saying this is because I think Spaceplate and bronze mode, I don't think there is a state stronger than the other. I think each state is required for a certain something. Spaceplate is required for speed and for hacks, right? Creating black hole or whatever and being able to move insanely fast. Because when they were asking Uki like uh you were confused, maybe you were fighting Daikokuzan, he said no, like he even tried Spaceplate Uki to actually escape. So it kind of indicates that Spaceplate form is actually a huge boost in terms of speed. It actually boosts other stuff like durability and attack potency. We know it boosts your durability because base Joshi with one uppercut was able to crack Uki's body, but with the stronger move, when base no code Joshi performed a stronger move, he cracked Spaceplate Uki, but not on the same level base Joshi cracked base Uki. If you guys understood what I mean. So like it means that Spaceplate actually augmented its durability too, but like the speed is like Spaceplate is reserved for speed and hacks. And bronze mode is reserved for durability and strength, lifting strength. Galua obviously couldn't lift this boulder with his base mode, so it used a bronze mode. So like I believe these two are kind of like equal, and it depends on the situation. Kind of like I don't know if you guys read One Punch Man, kind of like what we thought about Golden Sperm and Platinum Sperm. We Before we thought that Platinum Sperm is a speed form and Golden Sperm is a strength form. Maybe above the birds in real life they are bigger. So why the Colossal Crusader is in the tier list? Because we believe that it's the strongest ship they have, and they use their ships to fight. They like the one that we've seen before. I think this one, right? They wanted to bombard the entire area with it. So like we're assuming that this one is stronger than this one, and Kiva did say that this one is something that would even be a threat to the Demon King. So if we go by Kiva's statement, the Colossal Cruiser would actually be stronger, and so like it would require top tier characters to destroy it. Assumptions, obviously, right? So the Gaia's Wrath bugs. We've seen absolutely nothing from them aside from like trying to corner normal soldiers, normal Joshi soldiers, and like putting them here, like here or here, like it's fine. I don't hate it. We didn't see a single thing from them, so we go with we don't know. Parasites humans, I would put them just above normal humans, maybe here. The reason is these guys with their weapons could, from a long distance, like hold him. And it's just one normal parasite, right? Like obviously the parasite, when it gets near any human, obviously it's gonna be defeating them easily. But like we're assuming that these guys have long, like they can just bombard it from a distance, and it's just a human parasite. It's not like an animal or a titan parasite. Titan Parasite, we didn't see how strong or what it did against the New Humans. We just seen that, like, the Titan was infected, but we didn't see the actual fight. So obviously they would be above normal Titans. Yo, where are they? All right. Normal Titans, you can even argue stronger than all of these guys, but for now, I'll just put them in. We don't know because we didn't see a single thing from them. Big Hedgehog would be on the same realm as the normal Titan, possibly weaker or even weaker than the Crimson Wolves. The reason is the Big Hedgehog in Chapter 2 was able to exchange blows with a normal Titan. But that normal Titan, as I said, is presumably a weak Titan because it was 15 feet tall, right? So, like, I'm not gonna be putting this on the same realm or the same place as the Titans. Uh, I would be putting them like below these guys. I don't think that Braggett would be able to deal with the big hedgehog. Fish was able to, we've seen it on screen, able to eat multiple titans, consume them, and that's pretty much it. I don't believe the serpent is stronger than the catfish, and I don't believe that the bird is stronger than the catfish. The catfish was shown, or like, I would say implied to being like the stronger animal, just because it was eating titans. So like, yeah, I'd say this placement is fair. Owl Omen, I do not know. So this is the tiering list. All right. Tell me, guys, if you like it or hate it. Parasite, humans, Loatheth, catfish, Titan Slayer. So, guys, you gotta tell me which placements do you agree with, which placements do you hate, and which placements you think they would change in the future. No, no. Was it? I don't think it was specified. I think, hold on. I think it's chapter 18 if I remember correctly. Hold on. All right, so we have these butterflies as threat level 3. This is a 4, as you guys can see. And then we've seen, the catfish being able to consume the titans, and the titans are running away from them, meaning they cannot fight these catfishes. And then we've seen that these bugs are contending with demon soldiers. That's why I said, like they could be human level or above human at the very least. So yeah, like we don't know the threat of these two. Yeah, so for me, I do think that this tier list is actually pretty solid for now. It could be the case, something that people would hate, and even I myself would hate, but it would still make sense story-wise because the narrative is pushing it. It could be the case that Release Joshi is above Gimbak, base Gimbak. Because Release Joshi is still believing that he can defeat base Gimbak, even though Gimbak, Nudo told him that Gimbak defeated Burst form Diganazal. So like it could be the case that like Release Joshi or even Burst Mode Joshi is above base Gimbak, which would be insane. I would hate it. I wouldn't want it. But like, it's a possibility. It also could be the case that this is how it should be because these two are like, they are the natural enemy, right? In contrast to the demons, to Byakuo, where he has other demon lords and the demon soldiers and leaders. So this could be the case. What else? It could also be the case that base Galua, Gilogi, and Baoan, they would be Joshi's tier, being, captains of their team. If we get a confirmation that not all Madara people are equal in strength. All right? It could be the case that Bozerg is even stronger than Royal Roach. I don't think he would be stronger than base Joshi. I would really fucking hate it, to be honest. But for now, this is his placement. All right, what else? It could be the case that base Bozerg, but no, not Bozerg. Berser is stronger than base Boxer. Like maybe it's the case that like Berser is actually stronger than the Fury Watcher, and if he's stronger than the Fury Watcher, he would be stronger than Boxer. What else do we have? Rogan, maybe he's just this tier or even below Halo, but like for now, like we're just gonna place him here. So yeah, I think for now this list is pretty solid. These are all the characters that we do not know where they scale. Right. Would it be crazy to assume that there are several colossal crusaders? Only this one is the one they sent to Earth from their worlds. Great, like a big possibility. We've talked about this on stream one time. I said, yo, there is a huge chance that there are, just like there are multiple mini ships and normal ships, there should be multiple colossal cruisers. Yeah, so yeah, this tier is pretty solid, I think. Thank you. Goku Black, I don't know. Joshi equal with Gimbag. I mean, the only thing that suggests it is Joshi himself, alright? I actually think Burst Joshi will end up above base Gimbag. Yeah, release probably not though. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know either. Like, look, guys, it could be the case that Burst Joshi would be above Burst base Gimbag in the future. However, Gimbag is gonna learn how to use mana, and he's just gonna eclipse everybody else. Since we're talking about this, guys, chapter 34 had a lot of mistranslations, right? That affects the power scaling immensely. For example, right here, hold on. Okay, this one. So when Frod said, you don't get to treat my territory like it's your own playground, I would not bow to anyone but the Great Demon King. This is not how it's translated, by the way. Boxer actually says, I cannot believe that other than the Great Demon King, I considered bowing to someone like this, like this guy. So the right translation makes a clear comparison between Gimbak and the Demon King. You get what I mean? Like, he would be submitting to Gimbak same way he's submitting to the Demon King. So it kind of implies that, Gimbak is on that tier. So they messed up with this one. The other one they messed up completely is, hold on, I'll show you guys. Where is it? Yeah, this one. I think this one is infamous, and you guys all know about it. Nudo says, "Be careful now. These monsters survived Joshi's punch unharmed. These guys had never survived Joshi's punch. The Japanese literally was talking about Gimbak. Like, this monster survived Joshi's punch. This one is self-explanatory. The other one that you guys do not know about that I discovered recently is this one. So when Jahivi used his light to turn Gimbak to stone, he says his body makes this more difficult, but if I just keep shining my light on him, then. So in Japanese, it's slightly different and it gives a different narrative. In Japanese, he's saying maybe or perhaps. The reason this is not working is because he has a big body and he's wondering if he keeps shining his light on him, maybe it's gonna work. So in Japanese, Jaivi is not even sure about the reason why Gimbak is not affected. Whereas in this version, he seems like he's pretty sure. He's saying, yo, his big body makes this more difficult. So yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this tiering list. Let me check some chats. Be crazy to assume several. Alright. Joshi equal with Gimbak. Actually, alright. I'd say Bawan looks more threatening than the rest of the medallions. How is he more threatening? He's just one circle and one dot. Alright, later, if I have time, I'll say my opinion on some things on the tier list in the comments. Alright, that's good. Alright, guys, I think that's it. This is obviously, listen, guys, this is obviously the tiering list that I have with you guys, without really reading the note that I made, without really like thinking a lot of things through. This is face value at tiering list, right? It's literally the first time I've made a tiering list concerning verses. And I think it's pretty decent. I'd reckon if I start thinking about it, when I'm alone, obviously, and I do a little bit of research, I'd reckon I'd change some placements based on some fees that I disregarded. But for now, it's looking like it's a good tiering list. But anyways, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate every single one of you, and I see you some other time. All right, take care.